Welcome back to episode 183 of the Hockey Cards Gongshow podcast. My name is Josh. I'm here at Troy. We're back home.
Yeah.
Exhausted, but back home. What's going on, man?
Not a whole lot. Just got home from baseball. I actually feel normal for once. Like today, I think is when I finally caught up on everything. But yeah, post-expo exhaustion is a thing.
It is a real thing. And neither of us had the easiest travel home. Like you basically went to the airport at like what, 3 a.m, something like that on Sunday.
Yeah, Uber picked me up at 3 a.m. I don't know what, I'm such an idiot because I am so set. Hey, they tell me to be there 3 hours before for an international flight. So I always do it. And of course, even like the flight was at 6:30 in the morning. It was the one that had the most room. And of course, like customs didn't even open until like 4.
No.
So I already did that. And then I get in there and it takes 3 seconds to get through customs because you get to do the US customs in Toronto at the airport. And it was super quick. Obviously, not a lot of flights leaving on a Sunday morning at 6 a.m. or whatever, but I'm an idiot. I show up early and then I just sit at the airport.
Now, I know you a little bit, and your kind of move in these situations is to just say, well, I might as well not go to bed and just power through it. Did you even sleep then Saturday night?
Nope. I stayed up, and once everyone went to bed at the chateau, I went downstairs and just hung out and played Nintendo Switch and for an hour or two. And the funny thing is the Uber guy or the whatever Lyft guy, he actually showed up like 25 minutes early. He was parked in front of the house. But I was like, I'm not going out there. I'm waiting. I don't want to get there that early. Yeah. And then I walked out right when I was supposed to pick me up. And he's like, no, he goes, I had nothing to do and you were my ride. So I just came here early in case you wanted to leave early. I was like, oh, well, that's nice.
So what time, or I guess would it be local time, Sunday morning, did you walk back into your house here in Minnesota?
9 a.m. Central Time.
Oh, well, at least you had some time to sleep then. Yeah, I had a little bit of a
I walked in the house and went to bed.
Yeah, I'm sure. That's what I would have done too. I had a little bit of a different journey back here. So I drove with Louis, who's in our patron. Everyone in our Discord knows who Louis is. He's from our town and stayed at Chateau Gongshow with us. And we left, I want to say maybe like 10 o'clock local time on Sunday morning from Toronto. Made it back about, I want to say like 2:30 a.m. I guess the next day back to our house in Minnesota. And yeah, it was a long drive, pretty uneventful. But on Monday, Troy, I didn't know what was wrong with me. It's like I was so exhausted. All I wanted to do was sleep. And even a little bit Tuesday, it's like, gosh, we're getting old, where it's like we can't even go have fun anymore without getting tired. But like you, I feel a little have more energy today. So excited about our show. And it's a huge show. It's, I think, our biggest outline ever we were just talking about. So we better get right to it. But before we get started, a reminder that the Hockey Cards Gongshow podcast is a Patreon podcast, which means we rely on support from listeners and watchers like yourself to support our show, help us cover show expenses, hopefully produce more and better hockey card content and fun initiatives, even in a small way to grow the hockey hobby. You can support us through Patreon. We have out of $1.99 support level tier. It costs $5 a month. You also get access to the Gong Show Discord and chat with us on a daily basis there. It's very easy to do. You can go to our website, hockeycardsgongshow.com, and click on the Become a Patron link, or you go to the Patreon website directly, patreon.com, and search for Hockey Cards Gong Show. There's a link in the show description and all the podcast apps, and then also in YouTube as well, and then our Instagram and TikTok profile, there's a link there too. Since our last show, Trey, we have 2 new patrons that we want to shout out and share our gratitude for your support of the Gong Show. Is it at Tuesday Cards? I don't know.
Tuesday Cards is how I read it.
Tuesday Cards, joiner out of $1.99, and then Cigar Scott as well. Thank you guys very much. We greatly appreciate it. All right, man, you ready for the game plan?
We begin the show with the 3 almost greatest NHL players to wear a number segment. This episode, we look at the almost greatest to wear number 81, number 82, and number 83, because I had catch up to do. because of the lost episode and the Spring Expo recap, and then our current show. Then it's off to our next installment of Hobby Deep Dive, Playoffs Edition. Next is Hobby News, followed by Josh's interview with Hall of Famer Al MacInnis from the Toronto Spring Sports Card Expo. Josh, am I right in saying Al was a tremendous interview? I watched it. He was really good and just a fantastic person, down to earth. So please stick around. Josh, you did a great job.
Thank you.
I know you were nervous. I know you were tired, but did a fantastic job. So please stick around for that. We then go to new product releases and our weekly preview of some of our favorite hockey cards in the current PWCC Weekly Auction. We end the show with, dare I say, the largest personal pickup segment that we've ever done on this show. I'm pretty confident when I say that.
The mega personal pickups.
It is. It's mega personal. All right. After the debacle of episode 181, we are doing a 3-for-1, Josh, on the almost greatest to play in the NHL. As I said in the intro, we're going to start with 81, then move on to 82, and then finish with the almost greatest to wear 83. 81 will be the longest, and then I'll try to fly through 82 and 83 because I don't want to spend 40 minutes going through the almost greatest to wear each number segment, but I'll try to keep these short. Okay, Josh, previously we looked at the greatest NHL player that wore the number that matched our episode number. We ran through all the numbers, so we are now looking at the almost greatest NHL player to wear each number from the runners-up in the Hockey Writers' greatest NHL player to wear each number article. Josh, the almost greatest player in the NHL to wear number 81, per the nominees in the Hockey Writers' greatest NHL player to wear each number article, and selected by me, is everyone's favorite hot dog eater, Josh. This guy, Phil Kessel, one of my favorite pictures ever, lounging in the locker room with the ripped up shorts, just loving life.
I got a question.
If
we did a poll and we had Bobby Orr's flying goal, whatever it's called, photo, and this photo, and we asked, what's the greatest hockey photo of all time? Do you think this one might actually win?
I choose this one because I love he's got a Tim Hortons cup. He's just chilling. Just great. It's great picture.
Like corn spandex on. Oh my God.
Yeah. All right. The other runner-up at number 81 was Miroslav Satan, who had a very good career. However, he is no Phil Kessel. In fact, no one is like Phil Kessel. As a reminder, the greatest story number 81 was Marian Hossa. Okay, Josh, our boy, Phil Kessel, forward from Madison, Wisconsin.
Boo.
Kessel was the 5th overall selection in the 2006 NHL entry draft by the Boston Bruins. Kessel has played in 1,286 regular season NHL games over a current 17-season NHL career. More on that in a bit. Kessel began his career with 3 seasons with the Boston Bruins, then played 6 seasons with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Next, it was 4 seasons with the Pittsburgh Penguins. He then played 3 seasons with the Arizona Coyotes. Finally, he played 1 season with Vegas during the 2022-23 season. For his awards and accomplishments, 3-time Stanley Cup winner, baby. 2017 with Pittsburgh. So he won it twice in Pittsburgh. And 2022 with Vegas. 1-time Bill Masterton winner. 3-time NHL All-Star Game selection. Josh, for his regular season career, 413 goals, 579 assists, for 992 points, 8 shy of 1,000.
8 shy of 1,000. That would be tough to retire at that.
Well, my favorite baseball player, one of my favorite athletes, is Kent Hrbek, Minnesota Twins. Not a lot of people know who he is probably, but he retired with, I think, 293 home runs. Ooh. 7 short, and I don't think he cares. He was
probably not.
He wasn't known for keeping in shape and really seemed like putting the best foot forward for his body.
I like Phil Kessel,
sure he cares about that. Man, you know what? Kessel is one of those guys. I can't remember who I heard talk about this. He's like hockey shape. He might look like a tubby guy or a little chubby, but he'll get out there and play hockey like nobody's business and be fine. He's not the world's fastest skater or anything, but all right. Kessel has made the playoffs in 9 of his 17 NHL seasons, compiling 34 goals, 49 assists for 83 points in 100 NHL playoff games played. Best season of his NHL career from a point standpoint was his 2017-18 season with Pittsburgh, where Kessel had 34 goals, 58 assists for 92 points in 82 regular season games played. Kessel is well known for his offensive skill. During his NHL career, Kessel has always been an offensive threat. In his 17 NHL seasons, Kessel has scored 20 or more goals in a season 12 times. Josh, our boy right now, Phil Kessel, is currently a free agent. He did not play in the 23-24 NHL regular season. He has stated, though, that he still wants to play. I can't believe no one tried to give him a shot to see if there's anything left in that tank.
He did. He got a tryout with Vancouver.
Oh, they actually gave him a tryout? I didn't read that.
Well, yeah, they think they let him skate with maybe the AHL team a little bit or something like that. And I think they determined he wasn't in shape. Doesn't this look like a photo like where he's like you can only see like neck up or whatever. I kind of picture him in his hockey jersey and church jeans.
Maybe. Or shorts, or those tight biker shorts. Oh, Phil Kessel, we love you. All right. Fun, interesting facts, Josh. Nicknames: Phil the Thrill, Kess, the Legend, Philly Cheese, and Hot Dog Boy, which is by far my favorite.
That's great.
We'll get into that why.
You know how we have the Gong Show like cinematic universe where we had Underbidder as our superhero? Yeah. We may have added the next superhero to that. Hot Dog Boy. What do you think of that?
Hot Dog Boy, I like. We had Card Trimmer. Didn't we say that at the Chateau? We had a new superhero.
Yeah, we have a whole
Card
bunch
Trimmer.
Of those, but I might have to come up with like
all right.
I might have to spend like 7 hours doing AI images trying to make a Hot Dog Boy superhero look like Phil Kessel. Those are the things.
I'm sure it'd be awesome. Yes. All right. 27 games into his rookie season, Kessel was diagnosed with a rare form of testicular cancer and had surgery on December 11, 2006. He was declared cancer-free 5 days later, and after a quick conditioning assignment in the AHL, he returned to the NHL on January 9th, 2007. He was awarded the Bill Masterton Trophy in 2007 for perseverance, sportsmanship, and dedication to hockey. With the Penguins, Kessel helped form one of the top lines in the NHL for the second half of the 2015-16 season, the HBK line with Carl Hagelin and Nick Bonino. On October 25th, 2022, Kessel played his 990th consecutive NHL game, breaking the record held by Keith Yandel. And in the game, he also scored his 400th NHL goal. The Ironman streak is currently at 1,064 games. However, Josh, this is not without some controversy, as Kessel was able to continue his Ironman streak by dressing for the first shift of a game versus the Detroit Red Wings on the road on March 8th, 2022, before immediately leaving the ice to take a special chartered flight back to Arizona to be present for the birth of his first child, which we all understand he should be there. And remember, the Ironman streak is only 4 regular season games. So there's nothing. You don't get punished for missing the playoffs.
Now, what do you think of that?
Oh, yeah.
I
don't know. This Ironman streak is weird. Like, it's weird you can go out for 4 seconds, keep your streak alive, and then take off. It's like, okay.
There should have been like a minimum time on ice or something like that.
Well, and I don't know if I get into this. I don't think I do. But the streak is still active. Him missing a season does not count. Like, the minute he steps on the ice, it starts up again. It just keeps adding to that 1,064.
Yeah.
Makes no sense. Okay. Kessel played 1 season for the University of Minnesota Gophers before starting his NHL career. Fun fact about that is his first college goal came on a penalty shot, making it the first time in Gopher history that a player scored his first career goal on a penalty shot. Okay, from Wikipedia, NHL Players Poll conducted by Sports Illustrated and released in February of 2012 named Kessel the easiest player to intimidate in the NHL. He was named by 15% of the respondents, which were actually NHL players. In second place were the Vancouver Canucks twins of Daniel and Henrik Sedin with 8%. I just thought that was pretty interesting. Phil doesn't seem like he is intimidated. He just probably doesn't care.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that means. Does that mean he's like not popular? Because that seems like
I think it means he can get frustrated.
Okay.
Like flustered, like start talking and smack, and he might start losing the puck more, or just you get in his head, kind of like a goalie, get in his head. talk to him, and he's more worried about what you're saying rather than how he's playing, and things can go off the rails. I just thought it was an interesting thing because I don't see Phil Kessel being intimidated, but anyways.
So he's a guy like Brad Marchand would be instantly trying to like poke the bear.
All over him. Yep, all over him. It was funny. I saw a video where I think it was PK Subban went in and hit. He hit Bergeron, and they had him mic'd up maybe, and Bergeron's like, "Why did you do that?" And Subban's like, "Did I get you in the head?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "I thought you were Subban said, "I thought you were Marchand."
Oh my gosh.
Skated away.
Love that.
That's pretty funny. Okay. Our boy, Phil Kessel. Well, another great picture. When Kessel won his second championship trophy, he took pictures of himself eating hot dogs out of the Stanley Cup. Now you know where the nickname Hot Dog Boy comes from. I love it. Love Phil. All right. And then finally, Josh, we've had this on our show before. One of the absolute best memes ever is why Phil Kessel is better than Connor McDavid. Go find this if you haven't read it. Some of my favorite are Phil Kessel won a cup without even playing. Connor McDavid can't win a cup even when playing. And then, 8 hot dogs out of the Stanley Cup. Connor McDavid has never even sniffed Lord Stanley. But there's like 10 different things on this meme. It's just hilarious. I'm not going to read them all. We read them all previously, but it's fantastic.
I have a note on the photo you showed with him with the hot dogs and the Stanley Cup. The 2017 Upper Deck Day with a Cup card. It's not that exact photo, but it does show him with the Stanley Cup and hot dogs in it. So that's great card that you can actually find. And holy cow, it sells for a lot of money, like $600.
Wow, that's cool. Well, speaking of crazy stuff, I know this is a hockey card show, but there was a baseball game, I believe, yesterday where there was a beehive that formed on the net behind home plate. I think it was the Diamondbacks. And they called in a beekeeper, and he had his outfit on, and the crowd was cheering for him. He's got up there, removed him. He's already got a Topps Now card out, and they're going to have autograph versions. They already made it. So it just cracked me up.
Beekeeper.
Okay, back to Phil. Yeah, go back to Phil. All right. Rookie card, Josh. 2006, Upper Deck, number 204, Young Guns. PSA 10 pop on this card, Josh, is 223. Gem rate at 68%. Recent sales of this card bounce around anywhere from 90 to 105 US dollars. And I'm going to point out, some people keep asking us why the cert numbers are blacked out on certain pictures we show. And usually it's in Card Ladder where we'll pull these like kind of high quality images. And sometimes people just black them out because they don't want someone to copy it and then try to sell a fake card, I think is why they do it.
Oh,
I don't know. But we've had
I never knew that, but that makes sense to me.
Yeah. So we've had that a couple times. And then I totally forgot this. I should have done it earlier in the show. We forgot to congratulate Beard Boss for winning our Gong Show fantasy hockey pool. I saw that in our Discord. He won. He won the whole thing.
Oh, yeah. We got to send him a box of something.
Yeah, we'll send him a box of something. But we got to call him out. But I did it in the middle of the segment. But anyways, okay. That's our boy, Phil Kessel. So, Josh, we got to keep motoring on. Whew. Now we're on to number 82. I'm not going to read the big preamble, but the almost greatest NHL player to wear number 82, blah, 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 and selected by me is Thomas Kopecky.
Ooh.
I remember Thomas Kopecky, but I didn't know anything about him. I've heard the name, definitely heard the name.
Yeah.
There were no other runners up at number 82. As a reminder, the greatest to wear number 82 was Martin Straka.
Popular number.
Okay. Top, yeah. I think it's only been worn by like 30 some players, and the winners got it by default because they wore it the longest. The other people were like,
sure.
You know what? I believe it was 82. Gabrick wore 82 his first year, I think, in the NHL. Or he wore it at some point because he was listed, but it was super short.
Yeah.
And I could be making that up, but I thought I remembered that. Okay.
Probably are.
All right. Thomas Kopecky from Ilava, Czechoslovakia is what I'm going with. I think it's Ilava. Ilava.
I just think the floor is lava, Czechoslovakian.
There you go. There you go. That rhymes. Sounds good. All right. Kopecky was the 38th overall selection in the 2000 NHL entry draft by the Detroit Red Wings. Kopecky played in 578 regular season NHL games over a 10-season NHL career. Kopecky began his career with 4 seasons with the Red Wings. He then played 2 years with the Chicago Blackhawks, finished his career with 4 seasons with the Florida Panthers. For his awards and accomplishments, 2-time Stanley Cup winner, 2008 with Detroit and 2010 with Chicago. For his career, 68 goals, 106 assists for 174 points. Kopecky made the playoffs in 5 of his 10 NHL seasons, compiling 5 goals, 3 assists for 8 points in 37 playoff games played. Best season of his NHL career from a point standpoint was his 2010-11 season with Chicago, where Kopecky had 15 goals, 27 assists for 42 points in 81 regular season games played. Kopecky could show flashes of offensive skill, but at the end of the day, he was often injured and just never became a huge point producer. He did spend some time as a top 6 forward, but would then drop back to a 3rd or 4th liner. But Josh, he played 10 seasons in the NHL. He's got 2 cups. So I take that as pretty good. And
yeah,
definitely well worth the almost greatest story, number 82. All right. After his NHL career was over, Josh, Kopecky played in the Czech Extraliga with HC, I don't even know, Oshilari Trinek. And you can't even see the number on his jersey if you're watching on YouTube.
No.
There's so many ads on this jersey.
Wait.
It is
I count
insane.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Just in the view. That's crazy. Like they look like NASCARs. A human NASCAR.
Oh, it's hilarious. All right. Fun, interesting facts. There were not a lot. Here we go. He's from the same hometown as the Seattle Krakens, Tomas Tatar. I think is how you say it. Has the same name as a Czech professional cyclist.
So Tomas must be a really popular name in the Czech Republic.
Oh, yeah. And it's funny when you look him up on YouTube, on like Google, you have to like sift through the bicycle guy and the hockey guy, but you just do Thomas Kopecky hockey and you get all your stuff. That's all I got, Josh. I don't know if these are fun facts. That's all I could find. I just like the jersey with all the ads on it. All right. He's a 2006 Upper Deck Young Guns number 211 for his rookie card. PSA 10 has a pop of 7, Josh. Gem rate of 78%. There were no PSA sales. However, this card has 48 graded copies of BGS with a BGS 9.5 pop of 5. But get this, its BGS 10 pop is 41. I don't think I've ever seen that where
out of 48?
So
no.
Yes. Gem rate of 96%. And I've looked at that number 1,000 times.
This is absolutely a hobby mystery that nobody cares about. And just the type of hobby mystery that we love, because we, of course, love things nobody cares about. There's no way 48 graded, 41 BGS 10s. It's a conspiracy.
That's what, unless there's something wrong with the report, or I'm going to look at it again after when I'm done talking, because now I'm panicking, but we'll see. Only sale of a BGS graded copy of the card I could find was actually his Young Guns exclusive. It wasn't even a regular Young Guns. It had a BGS 8.5 grade that sold for $37.50 US via eBay, verified in Terapeak on September 18th, 2023. Okay, that was number 82, Josh. We're down to the last one. Almost greatest story, number 83. Here he is, Jay Beagle. I do remember Jay Beagle.
There sounds like a name of like a backup NFL quarterback more than a hockey player to me.
Yeah, could be.
Like you'd have like a mustache.
It was a correct.
You just see him like with his like baseball cap on, never actually play a game, and they pan to him on the sideline and like John Madden.
Just,
like,
just get the paycheck. Just get the paycheck. We're sitting there. No other runners up at number 83. A reminder, greatest story number 83 was Alice Hemsky. All right, our boy, Jay Beagle, forward from Gongshow, used to be number 1 listening area, might be number 2.
Number
Calgary,
2.
Alberta, Canada.
We love Calgary.
Number 2. Beagle, Beagle went undrafted and was eventually signed as a free agent by the Washington Capitals on March 26, 2008. Beagle played in 646 regular season NHL games over a 14-season NHL career. He began his career with 10 seasons with the Capitals. He then played 3 seasons with the Canucks, finished his career with 1 season with the Arizona Coyotes. For his awards and accomplishments, one-time Cup winner 2018 with Washington. For his career, 58 goals, 86 assists for 144 points. Beagle made the playoffs in 8 of his 14 NHL seasons, compiling 9 goals, 12 assists for 21 points in 102 NHL playoff games played. Best season of his NHL career from a point standpoint was his 2016-17 season with the Capitals, where Beagle had 13 goals, 17 assists for 30 points in 81 regular season games played. Beagle's career was mostly in a checking line role. He was also known as one of the best face-off players in the game with a 56.72% winning percentage, which ranks 15th all-time in NHL history.
That would have made him captain
Currently,
of the Wild.
our boy, no kidding. That's all they care about is face-off wins. Currently, it looks like Jay Beagle is the director of hockey operations for something called the Calgary International Hockey Academy.
Is that like hockey high school?
Place. I'm sure it's Shattuck of Calgary. Yeah, what I'm thinking. So he looks like good picture. Looks like he's enjoying life there, being the director of hockey operations. All right, fun, interesting facts. Nicknames: Beegs, and I like this one. Yay, because I'm guessing
what?
Jay. Yay.
Oh,
Yee, kind of like Yee for Kanye.
Yeah.
Come on. All right, Jay Beagle is the first player to win the Kelly Cup, Calder Cup, and the Stanley Cup. I like that.
What do they
That's
call
a good
that then?
Fun fact. So the bronze triple the triple bronze, because it's the Kelly Cup's the ECHL, Calder Cup's the AHL, and Stanley Cup is the NHL.
Yeah,
that's all we got for fun facts for him too. Pretty meager on the fun facts. Beagle has 6 total graded cards ever at PSA, and only 2 graded cards ever at BGS, with none of those being rookie cards. So we will go with his 2009-10 OPG marquee rookie for his rookie card, which, if you see, he did someone dirty at Upper Deck because they put in the crazy face picture with his mouth wide open.
Yeah, weird hockey mouth.
Screaming at someone. Yeah, total weird hockey mouth. Now, this card, Josh, at PSA, it only has 1 graded copy. That was a PSA 9. Raw copies sell for $1. So have at it if you want it.
Cool card design.
There we go. We're done.
Like mid-2000s OPG.
Yeah. Well, you're all in now after you. Yeah. I don't want to give it away, but you're all in.
Centering is very bad on that card, but poor Jay.
Yeah.
Well, you tired? You need a nap? That was a big one, Troy.
I got to look up BGS now for Jay Beagle or whatever. No, is it Thomas Kopecky? Make sure I have those numbers right.
Was that your first 3-fer?
No, we've done that before.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Shows how much I know our own show. Well, we're going to move on to Hobby Deep Dive. So we couldn't, Phil Kessel was technically from the last episode. And this is, I think, the only other segment that we're rolling over into episode 183. Basically because we did a ton of work on these, and it would be depressing, and then I think really good information too. So happy to be able to share this. The best news for you though, Troy, is you can hear me anyways when we recorded this the first time. So it shouldn't be a repeat. You'll probably hear it for the first time.
It will be all new to me again. And just for everyone, so they all know that I'm not crazy, I was right. 41 BGS 10s, 5 BGS 9.5s on the Thomas Kopecky Young Guns.
Yeah, I call BS on that. I call for an investigation. You got the number for the Royal Canadian Mounted Police? Because they're the ones that handle stuff like this, right?
Yeah, no kidding. Okay. I don't know the number, but
got to get that on speed dial, Troy. All right, we're going to get into Hobby Deep Dive. It's time for a weekly Hobby Deep Dive. We have been mixing it up lately. We've done rookies, we've done sets, we've done certain veterans. We're going to go back to vets today, but with a wrinkle, Troy. It's our Hobby Deep Dive Playoffs edition. So we picked 4 veterans that are significant contributors to their playoff teams, put them up on an Instagram poll of our followers to vote for who we should deep dive. And, this would have been last week's segment, but we're doing it this week.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So here's the vet. Well, okay, we'll get into the poll, but we always got to look at the vets we've done so far. And you got the graphic there. So we've done Elias Pettersson, Nathan McKinnon, Cale Makar, Leon Draisaitl, Quinn Hughes, and Zach Hyman. So this week or last week, whatever, we put up a poll on Instagram with 4 candidates. We had Pasta, David Pastrnak, Matthew Tkachuk, Mitch Marner, and Artemi Panarin. And you guys all voted. And by a pretty healthy amount, David Pastrnak, Troy, was the winner of the poll with 36%, followed by Artemi Panarin, 26%, Mitch Marner at 25%, and Matty Tkachuk at 12%. Matthew Tkachuk taking the L here, Troy.
Yeah, what's going on with that? Remember, if this was it last year's playoffs, he would have been number 1 with a bullet, probably.
Well, his team so far in the playoffs might be looking the best, too. But y'all voted, and you want to learn more about David Pastrnak, so that makes him this week's Hobby Deep Dive. We're going to get right into it. Pasta Troy is just 27 years old. Feels a lot older than that, doesn't he?
Yeah, it seems like he's been around. I mean, sure he has, but he does feel older than 27. I'm still not convinced. Has anyone seen Pasta and Panarin at the same time on the ice? I get them so like I feel like they're the same person.
Well, Panarin doesn't have hair anymore, right? Because he shaved it off at I don't know, maybe it grew him back. I haven't watched a lot of Rangers this year. Well, Pasta is a forward for your Boston Bruins, 6 feet, roughly 200 pounds, 25th overall pick in the 2014 NHL entry draft. Pastrnak was born in Havarov, Czech Republic. Have you played hockey there, Troy? Because you played hockey everywhere.
No, didn't make it to the Czech. Actually, it was probably Czechoslovakia back then when I was over in Europe.
Probably at the time. David was introduced to hockey by his father, Milan, who unfortunately died of cancer in 2013. He said that he was driven to practice and train and become the best player he could to become a player that his father respected. So that's kind of cool. So, Troy, he lived to make his father happy, and our kids lived to ask us for money.
I just reading that. I'm like, no, that's not my kids. My kid trying to just wiggle any amount of dollars out of me that they can.
Yeah. Well, my kids are always like, hey, Dad, how's it going? It's like, oh, you want to talk to me? Can I have $30? I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. I'm just piggy bank too. Pasta started making some noise with NHL scouts in the 2011-12 season when he led the Czech League in both goals with 41 and points with 68. For the 2012-13 season, Troy, Pasta moved to Sweden to play with one of your favorite teams, the Södertälje SK. I think that's how you say it. All these words we have today have more weird characters
umlauts.
And almost umlauts or whatever they call them. Just crazy. Well, he thought the move to Sweden would improve his game by being able to play higher level competition and then also gain more visibility from NHL scouts. Well, it worked. He was able to advance up the divisions and make an impact in the league and get better. Here's another one of these pictures we love, Troy, where you have Pastrnak looking like a NASCAR. About 90 brands represented on his jersey. Yep. Looks more uniform though than Tomas Konecki did. Just crazy though. Coming into the draft, the scouting report on Pasta was that he had very high offensive skills. The scouts were impressed by his skating. One concern was size and physicality, if he'd be able to adjust to the more physical style of play in North America, which seems to be a lot. That's one red flag almost every European player gets, right?
Yeah, that's like the European player MO is that the game's a lot more physical over here. At times you hear how it's changing in Europe, and where it actually changes, the women's side, because in women's professional hockey in like Sweden, they allow body checking.
Really?
And then you get to the world championships. Guess who's in the box every 5 seconds? Sweden, because they're out there just drilling people. I mean, I do think eventually body checking will come to the women's game, or be instead of right now it's body contact. I think body checking will eventually be legal.
There's no reason not to.
Yeah.
I know my daughter would love checking. So Pasta was seen as a high risk, high reward prospect. The Boston Bruins took a chance on him with the 25th overall pick in the 2014 NHL entry draft. Now, he does look young there.
Yeah, super young.
Great. He did attend Boston's training camp in 2014, but did not make the opening night roster and was assigned to play in the Bruins AHL affiliate to start the season with the Providence Bruins.
And he looks depressed in this picture, so I guess he didn't take that news very well. Holy cow.
Kind of looks like he's loafing a little bit.
he looks in rough shape. Long night the night before. Kind of like someone else.
Yeah. Yeah. When I interviewed Al MacInnis, I was struggling. In 25 games with Providence to start the 2014-15 season, he had 11 goals, 17 assists for 28 points. He had such a good start in the AHL. He was pretty quickly called up to Boston and made his NHL debut on November 24th, 2014 against Pittsburgh Penguins, who would end up playing in 46 games in his rookie year in the NHL, scoring 10 goals, adding 17 assists for 27 points. And then really, Troy, since 2015-16, he's been an NHL regular.
Mm-hmm.
While he's played 10 NHL seasons now, it's really been the last 5 where Pasta has emerged as one of the league's premier goal scorers. He's got 216 goals in the past 5 seasons, which is third most in the NHL behind Austin Matthews' 257 and Leon Draisaitl's 222. If you look at just the past 3 years, Pasta's averaged 49 goals a season. It's crazy. This past season, Pasta was really good again, scoring 47 goals, adding 63 assists for 110 points in 82 games played. It was his second consecutive 100-point season. For his career now, Troy, Pastrnak has now played in 674 games, has scored 348 goals, added 379 assists for 727 points. That's an average of 0.52 goals per game and 1.08 points per game.
He could legit get to 500 goals in his career. I mean, he's on pace.
Oh, yeah. Well, in 3 years, basically, he should
I say, I figure there'll be some decline as he gets older. Hits that age curve. Do we need to talk about age curves again? That was like episode 10.
He might have a chance at 600 when it's all said and done. If he can get to 300 by 30.
No one will know that he did it.
No one will care. Outside of Boston, right? Yeah. Boston fans love Pasta. So far in the Bruins' first-round series against your Leafs, Troy, Pasta has 2 goals, 2 assists for 4 points in 5 games played. And I don't know, maybe because he's been a touch of a late bloomer. Like I said, really, the last 5 years, the goals have clicked with him. And he doesn't have any, big NHL individual awards or trophies, right? It's kind of amazing that he's the, third leading goal scorer in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
And no Rocket Richards, no Ted Lindsay's, no Hart trophies, kind of nothing.
Yeah.
That, maybe that's why his hobby market has taken a little time to catch on. And when you look at the market, the biggest thing his market has going for it is he was a 2014 rookie. He did not have a ton of rookie autos. The print runs were a lot smaller. So you'll see his pop counts are pretty small. And I think that has helped his values stay pretty high, as a result. So he's a 2014 Young Guns, PSA 10 as a pop, just 210.
Wow.
That's like a day of Connor Bedard.
Well, yeah, and that thing ain't going anywhere with that gem rate either.
Yeah, 40% gem rate. Last sold for $998 in April.
Can't even get to 1,000. Can't even get to 1,000.
Well, I might have sold it. This date is a little bit.
Oh, that was last sell, not record.
Yeah, I probably should have looked that up again. But yeah, you would think that with a 210 gem rate, or 40% gem rate and pop count of 210, maybe someday it gets to 250, but it ain't getting to 1,000 probably at this point, unless somebody finds cases of 2014 flagship just laying around. It was down about 24% over the past year. It is prone to spikes. You can get it in the 1,200 range. I've seen it all the way down to 850 to 950. So if you're a buyer, that's probably the range that I would try to target. And if you're patient, you might be able to pick it up at a pretty palatable price there. Crazy thing about Pasta, Troy, is there's not a huge high-end market like you see with a lot of the other hobby elite players. So we're going to roll through the top 5 Pastrnak sales to date, and you'll see pretty quickly that it's definitely not like McDavid, right? I'm looking ahead here a little bit, kind of, well, spoiler alert, his top selling card isn't even $1,000 or $5,000.
Yeah.
So number 5 is this 2020-21 Skybox Metal Universe 97-98 Retro PMG Gold, sold for $3,100 USD in January of 2022. Now I know that was like pandemic highs.
Yep.
In my mind, though, Troy, there's no way this card sells for that. I think it goes way higher today, just given his last couple years.
Mm-hmm.
But that's crazy. $3,100. Goodbye. Number 4 is a 2014-15 Young Guns exclusives out of 100 PSA 10, sold for $3,495 on February 26th of this year. Number 3 sales, a 2014-15 the Cup RPA. He was one of the 249 guys, not even a 99. This was a BGS 9.5, sold for $3,800 US in October 2021.
Is that a sticker? That's a sticker auto, isn't it?
Yeah, remember they had signing issues with him?
That's right. He was one of you said that. He's didn't sign a lot. And he's got mouth agape.
Yeah, hockey mouth. Ugh. Number 2 sales, a 2014-15 Premier Gold RPA at a 10. Now, this was an FCG. I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
It was a 9 and the 10 auto. Sold for $4,105 US in March of 2023. There's no picture for that listing anywhere. I looked like a ridiculous long time. And so I did find a raw copy just to get an idea what the card looks like. God, another doing him dirty with bad hockey mouth.
Bad hockey. This card, I know this isn't the card that's sold, so just hear me out. But it's like horrible hockey mouth, fantastic patch. The auto looks a little shady, but that might be because of the watermark. I hate ComC how they put their watermark.
Yeah, I hate how they put it over the card. That's lame. Stop that, ComC. Stop. Number 1, 2014 the Cup Gold RPA out of 10 BGS 9, sold for $4,779 US on November 25th of this year. So yeah, no sale ever over $5,000 for David Pastrnak.
That's crazy.
That is nutty. All right, Troy. There's our hobby deep dive. David Pastrnak. Hope you all enjoyed. Awesome. We'll be back soon with another edition. Maybe we'll look at like round 2 playoff guys or something like that. All right, got to make a quick mention for Gong Show partner and sponsor Slab Sharks. Of course, we're grateful for their support of our show. The current Slab
Look at
Sharks
the new website. Ooh.
Yeah, awesome.
No more sharks swimming in the background. Boy, look at all the Bedards.
Yeah, crazy amount of Bedards. The current weekly auction is live, ends tonight. So be sure to go to slabsharks.com, place your bids. When you are there, sign up for the portal. It's amazing. Karn Rye from Slab Sharks gave us a tour, I guess, of the new app and website while we were at the expo. They've absolutely knocked it out of the park. There's so many things that you can do on this app and insight into data that we've never seen before from eBay. And they actually did a story that I want to kind of read a couple of things from today where that highlight just some of the new insight you get with their app. So they have a unpaid report. Right, so we talk all the time about eBay comps that go unpaid and still show up as comps. They're going to actually show everybody which auction items literally are not paid for.
Right here, there's a button I can hit, unpaid.
Taking a leadership stance in the hobby to do so. There are also like tools where you can report cards. You can, especially cards with fake patches. They're trying to take a leadership stance there as well. And I just love to see this too, right? Because, again, it's stuff nobody else does. It's stuff that, I guess technically, right? If you report a card with a potential fake patch and they have to delist that card, they don't make money off that anymore. So it's sort of, counterintuitive, I think, to how a lot of people think auction houses and consigners run. Another thing that they're adding is a stolen card database. To try to prevent stolen cards from being sold. So I just think it's amazing. And very, very grateful that we're partnered with them on the show. Now, I did sign up for the portal, Troy, because I have a card in next week's auction. You can bet your bottom dollar I will be shamelessly plugging it and probably begging for the whole next show will be, please play my card. right? I get nervous. I don't auction a lot of cards off, and I've already got the shakes because of it, but hopefully that goes well. Knock on wood. Slab Sharks booth was amazing too at the show. They, keep trying to up the game there. Again, the app is fantastic. Auctions keep getting better and better each week, and which is why this company is really going places. Troy, they make collectors' life super easy. They deeply care about your experience. Consigning your cards with Slab Sharks takes away all the hassles of selling your cards online by yourself. They're experts and will do everything for you. So again, go to slabsharks.com, register for the portal, check out all the new features, and place your bids for all the great cards ending in tonight's auction. Happy news!
Happy news! I have to text my family because I have a puppy barking away at my door trying to get in here. So I apologize. I don't think it came through. I muted quick enough, but
I heard a little bit. He just wants to be part of the show.
He just wants to be part of the show.
Who doesn't? Well, we had the last episode, and then we did our Expo recap. So we've got this is a pretty significant Road to Infinity update.
Okay.
We've been gearing up the last few weeks, Troy, with this our prediction, right? Would the Connor Bedard Young Guns base PSA 10 pop count reach 2,000 essentially by the 1st of May? And I think we're at like 1680 or something like that as of our last update before the Expo. So that's the $64,000 question. All right, Troy, I got the reveal. Are you ready? Drum roll, please.
I'm
Button
ready.
bar, Troy.
I'm ready.
Button bar, Troy. That button bar is so realistic. It's just like you really got a great one.
See, the more we talk about it, the more I'm just gonna, out of spite, I'm just not gonna do it because I'm getting mad at it.
I'm my own worst enemy. Okay, the current PSA 10 pop count for the Connor Bedard base Young Guns PSA 10 Troy is now up to 1,970. By 30.
Short by 30.
Why do we care? Nobody knows. Why am I bummed by that? There's no reason. It's so arbitrary. But it is nutty that, remember, this set was released on March 6th. And here we are, beginning of May, 1,970 base Young Gun PSA 10s.
Yep.
That's pretty much where you expected.
Yeah, I thought when we started talking about it earlier in the month, I thought easily over 2,000, but it seemed to slow down a bit. We'll see what happens during the summer, if it picks up a little as the season starts, or who knows. I think there'll probably be a huge, or there will be a spike once, if prices ever drop on cases or boxes or anything, but we'll see.
What's your prediction for the 1st of June?
1st of June, so that'd be a whole month. I'm gonna say 2,800.
Oh, so you're seeing it slow down a little bit.
I'm seeing it slow down.
I'm going all in, Troy. I'm gonna say 3,200. That there's gonna be a big spike at some point in the month, and we'll see who's smarter when it comes to predicting. Well, not a little like something important like picking stocks or investing in 401ks, right? Let's we can pick the acceleration of the Bedard Young Guns PSA 10 pop count. We'll see what happens. Well, we got an update, Troy, on the Expo attendance from the Spring Expo last week. You had shared with me an article from Sports Collectors Daily that
we have to talk. I don't think this is a picture of the Expo. There's no way this is the Toronto Expo. They didn't even use the right picture of the Expo.
Well, it's the same backdrop.
No way.
It's the same colored backdrop.
I don't remember I don't remember the blue and white curtains behind everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what
they did. Okay.
Yeah, they do have that.
See how much attention I paid.
Yeah, were you there, Troy?
I think so.
Okay.
All right, we'll say it is. We'll say it's the Expo.
Just gonna roll with it. You sent me an article from Sports Collectors Daily, and they had talked to Steve Menzie, who owns the Expo.
Yep.
In that he said that while attendance the total is not official yet, it was, and this is quoting Steve, easily the most well-attended Expo in the 35-year history of the semi-annual event. Now, awesome. Right? Yeah. There's our hobby mystery here, because Josh and Troy, that's me and you, reported on our Expo recap show just last show that we thought, in our opinion, that it seemed a little bit lighter this time.
Yeah.
So I don't know what happened. Maybe it's the new layout that was awesome.
Could be have spread everyone out.
Spreading one out a little bit more, but we're gonna roll with Steve here. He would know more than we
he
would
know for sure.
So that's a very good sign for the hobby that the show attendance was an all-time record, because as we reported last show, it seemed that buying was very strong. And so good barometer for hobby health there. Another correction that we need to make is we had stated incorrectly on our recap show that for the Thursday preview night, you needed a VIP ticket. No, Troy. You looked it up.
Yeah.
That's not the case. You could buy individual tickets for the Thursday preview. I think it was something like $20 US or $20 Canadian or something like that to get in. So sorry about that confusion there. Also, though, Troy, in the same article from Sports Collectors Daily, they did have a picture of Marcel Dion at his booth. See, there's the blue and yellow behind it.
Yeah, it is. I'm an idiot.
Okay. He's just showing at his booth. I had to share this because we've mentioned this a few times. And it seems like crazy that the number 6 all-time goal scorer and point producer is just chilling at his booth. But yeah,
he'll talk to you. He's like the greatest. He's the nicest guy in the world. Just walk up and start talking to him about hockey. He loves it.
And he sells signed memorabilia for very reasonable prices too.
Yes, very reasonable.
So if you want to get something from Marcel Dion, go to the expo and you'll get a chance to chat with him there. Okay. The Topps Industry Conference is underway this week for baseball card type people, Troy, I guess. And there's been a number of announcements that have been rolling out. One we wanted to highlight was about redemptions because it kind of caught our eye. First, they gave an update just from how they're managing redemptions. And they said a year ago they had 70,000 active outstanding redemptions. And by now I've gotten that number down to 10,000, which of course is a big improvement. I always wonder in these, when I hear stuff like this, I think it kind of immediately back to Upper Deck. And if this sort of puts any pressure on them to try to have a similar initiative maybe, or improve their processes a little bit. Upper Deck has never released numbers, to my knowledge, of how many outstanding redemptions that they have.
Have you heard of? I've never really heard of Upper Deck having issues like with long redemptions. Now I say that myself. I have a redemption that I think is going on 2 years with Upper Deck. It's a Pekka Rinne Twisted Tinsel, and I'm guessing Pekka's over in Europe, probably hasn't signed or hasn't sent stuff back, and it's either a year and a half or coming up on 2 years. But I've always felt, and I've had some other redemptions with Upper Deck that have came back within, 6 months, I would say. I feel like they do a good job on getting them timely, but I'm sure people have had longer waits.
I think compared to Panini, it's probably
don't even talk to me. I got 2 redemptions at Panini. One 4 years old and another one sitting at 5 years old, and that's even after I've requested replacements on both of them. So.
Wow. They didn't send you a sparkle pack or whatever they do or anything like that?
Panini is also the company that said they don't have to honor redemptions. They tried to make that argument that they're not legally binding contracts. They came up with some legalese terms. So Panini just whatever. I like your hockey cards from 2011 to 14 or whatever, but you stink at redemptions.
That's awesome PR. Congratulations, Panini, for making your customers hate you. Okay. Well, that was kind of the one aspect of the story. The next part, though, I found really interesting. And again, I'm curious if Upper Deck will make a similar move at some point. So in addition to dramatically reducing the number of outstanding redemptions, what Topps/Fanatics announced is that they've increased the standard redemption expiration date, which has been 2 years traditionally, now to 10. And they made it retroactive to the 2021 sets. So if you're thinking, why would they do this? My guess, Troy, the reason they would do it is a word that rhymes with staking.
Staking? Striking? Streaking? Breaking? What?
Streaking. Not streaking. I think that why you would do this is so that you would encourage breakers to open older products, right?
Well, it's a total PR move, right? It's a total PR move. It's total. We look at us. We're the good guy. Now, I want to know the conversations that went on. Why not take the next step and go, they never expire?
Well, because you have to keep an archive of them, right? So you'd have to. That's like a liability that's owed, and so they're
Well, I
already
want you could
committing.
probably put a disclaimer though, like right, if we don't have it, then we'll send you something of equal value. But I would just say they never expire. Like what is it? Gift cards are technically, or some states have passed where a gift card
They
cannot
can't
expire.
expire.
I know they can start withdrawing fees after so long, but I don't know. I was just curious. That'd be an interesting conversation to hear why they didn't go that far. But 10 years is good. Thank you for going over 2. Hopefully others follow.
Would you like Upper Deck to make similar moves?
Sure. Yes,
Okay.
I would love it, because how many times we've watched breaks where people are breaking old product, and it's like, oh God, I hope we don't get the redemption, and boom, here comes the redemption. And it's like, all you can do is contact, if it's say it's an Upper Deck product, contact them anyways. So I think they're pretty good about, they probably don't have the card, but they might send you something if you kind of send it in. All I can say is no, but I would like to see them make a move also and make the redemptions longer.
That would be good. All right, Troy, we're going to roll on to our interview with Al MacInnis. So I was honored, and it was really the thrill of a lifetime to be able to host a Q&A with Al MacInnis last week at the Spring Sport Card Expo. Al is a Stanley Cup champion, Troy, Olympic gold medalist, NHL Hall of Famer, was named as one of the 100 greatest players of all time, and a heck of a good guy, as we found out.
And somehow they let you on stage with him? Is that what? Yeah. No, you did fantastic. It was awesome.
I don't know about my checkered legal past, Troy. Mikey Stinger and the crew at the expo were kind enough to also let us play the interview for everyone on our show today. So we're happy to be able to do that. So without further ado, here's our, not super long, about 10-minute conversation with Al MacInnis.
Welcome to Saturday morning here at the Spring Sport Card Expo here in Toronto. Very exciting for myself. My name is Josh Madigan, from the co-host of the Hockey Cards Gongshow podcast, and thrilled and honored to be joined today for a nice conversation with Al MacInnis. Let's hear for Al. So Al, one of the things I heard is that you haven't done something like this very often, that this maybe is the second or third time that you've come to a show like this or done a public signing. Is that correct?
That is correct. Just with 4 kids, growing up and all being involved in sports, it's just hard to find the time to, get away for a few days, especially in the off season. We still spend a lot of time out in, it's in BC in Radium, Hot Springs. We got a summer place out there. And then we tried to visit family in Nova Scotia. So spending the off season in those both spots, it's hard to spread your time out.
Oh, I can imagine. So really the Sport Card Expo is an amazing event that really connects so many fans to the game of hockey, and it's almost like walking through the history of the game. And I guess I want to start going back to when you were growing up. Who are your influences? Who are the players that you followed as a kid growing up here in Canada?
Well, growing up in a small fishing village in Cape Breton, we used to get probably 75% of the Montreal Canadian games just because of the time zone, and then the rest would be the Maple Leaf games. So obviously we followed the Montreal Canadiens and the big 3 on defense, Larry Robinson, Guy Lapointe, and Serge Savard, and they were the big 3 that we used to watch and try to learn from every Saturday night in Hockey Night in Canada.
Did you collect sports cards at all for any of these guys?
Absolutely. I was talking with the gentleman this morning driving me here, and I'm sure there's so many of us have the same story. We used to have like shoe boxes of cards, like so many cards when we were young, and we would bring them to school. And we would go through them with our friends, and we were joking around, like, trying to trade for certain guys, and got them, need them, trade them, So I used to collect a ton of hockey cards along with my brothers. I had 5 brothers. They used to do it as well, and unfortunately, we didn't keep them.
Well, That's why so many are valuable today, because
Exactly.
that's the common story. Do you remember having a favorite card?
No, not really. I know it's a long time ago, but we used to, mimic certain players when we used to play street hockey. And for whatever reason, the one that comes up to mind, and I don't know why, but when we went in the net, it was always Cesar Maniego. Don't ask me why,
Okay.
but that was the name that stuck out. It sounded like a good name and pretty good goalie, and that's what I used to use when I played net when it was my turn to get in there.
So as your career began, your rookie card is in the 1985-86 set, OPG. Do you remember seeing your a hockey card, an Al MacInnis hockey card, for the very first time?
No, I honestly, I'm going to answer no. I don't really remember the very first time, that I looked at it. I knew when it was and what set and what have you over the years, but no, it was probably just something that went along with the professionalism and whatever the career, and it's not something I paid much attention to be honest with you.
Do you like your rookie card? Do you like the photo they picked, or would you have picked a different one?
The best thing about it is it got lots of hair, right? So
There you go.
I don't know where it happened, or I guess my father, I can blame my father for the hairline, but over the years and doing shows like this, you see so many cards, and they're great memories to have.
Okay. How many times do you think you've signed your autograph in your life?
Boy. I don't know. A lot, over the course of, how many years. And, obviously we would have a lot of fans on the road traveling, outside of hotels and at rinks. And even when I took my kids to hockey tournaments, we came here to Toronto many times over the years, played in the Ronald McDonald tournament, played in the Silver Stick tournament. There was always hockey fans around, and I was always gracious enough to sign whatever they had. But
Are you a memorabilia guy? Like, from your own career, are there certain things that you've kept that kind of take you back to those times and help you connect with those memories?
yeah, I've collected some of my jerseys. Obviously, winning the Stanley Cup in Calgary in '89, winning the gold medal in Salt Lake. I have a number different jerseys for career highs, 1,000 points or so many games. But I also have, not a lot. I have a few jerseys of, some of the icons in the game. I have a Gordie Howe signed jersey.
That's not bad.
I have a Jean Beliveau. I have
There you go.
Guy Lafleur jersey, and have a Guy Lafleur stick. A good story, when Guy was in New York and he was winding down his career, I remember him watching him with the Montreal Canadiens coming down the right wing and firing that slap shot, past goalies for years, and I just idolized that. And I'm not one to, ask for many things from former players, but I had to get a stick signed by Guy Lafleur, and I met him after the game, and he was gracious enough to sign a stick for me, and I have it in one of my prized possessions.
If there is one piece of hockey memorabilia that you don't have that you would just love to own and to be able to display in your house and to look at and appreciate, what would that be?
That's a. I'd have to think about that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got another tough question. I debated asking this but okay, let's say you had the opportunity to solve all the world's problems, okay? Now the cost to do so would be you'd have to give up your Stanley Cup or your gold medal. In order to solve all the world's problems, which would you give up? Did I stump you?
No, to give up one to solve. Well,
All the world's problems.
I'd give up both to serve.
I know you would. I know you
to
would.
solve the world problems. But if I know what you're asking me, I would probably have to give up the gold medal.
Okay.
I'd keep the Stanley Cup ring.
All right.
Good
answer.
Because just growing up and watching those teams every year carry that Stanley Cup around, it's just something you never forget. And
Sure.
when we were growing up, playing in the Olympics we didn't dream about that because we never thought we would get the opportunity to play in the Olympics. But once we did get the opportunity, it became a close second. Trust me.
Well, I appreciate you answering. It's like picking your favorite kid. It's an impossible.
Well, it's not quite. I'd never do that.
Yeah, I know. Okay, we have one more question, but it's not for me. So you got a big fan here, Dean.
I see that.
Hey, Dean, you want to come up?
All right.
Are you okay with Dean asking you a question?
Absolutely.
Okay, Dean, come up and come right here, buddy.
How you doing?
All right. So say your name, your age, and where you're from.
My name is Dean, and I'm 10, and I'm from Sonia area.
Okay, so Dean has a question for you, Al. You want to go ahead and ask your question to Al?
What was it like winning the Stanley Cup?
Well, it was a dream come true, and like I just mentioned, when I was your age and watching the Stanley Cup playoffs every year and watching the teams parade around the ice after winning a Stanley Cup, not realizing that I'd ever get a chance to do that in real life. The NHL and winning the Stanley Cup felt on a different planet. And, growing up in the area that I did, actually the first NHL game I ever watched, I actually played in. So that's how distant the NHL was. But it was an absolute dream come true. And on top of that, winning it in the old Montreal Forum, which I thought was the greatest place ever to play a hockey game, and watching, all those Canadian teams winning in the Montreal Forum and getting the opportunity to carry the cup around that forum was absolutely amazing.
Great question, Dean. Let's give Dean a round of applause here. Carried the interview. All right, buddy. Thank you. All right, well, I think that's all the time we have. Al, thank you. I hope you have a good day at the Expo, and thank you for being a great ambassador to the sport and game.
Yeah, thanks for everybody coming, and thanks for having me, and having a great day. Thank you.
All right, we're back. Al was very, very nice. Very easy guy to do that with. And if it wasn't completely apparent that I slept 4 hours the night before and had lots of drinks with ice in them, we'll say, and other stuff. Yeah. The Chateau Gongshow was no bueno, Troy, for my energy level. And that was like every night. That's why I slept all day Monday, because I was just dead, after all the fun that we had.
But you did do hours upon hours of research like before the interview. So you did all that.
I wanted to
have fun that night. Oh yeah.
I thought it was awesome that Al collects jerseys, and holy cow, what a collection. Now, I'm sure he's had the opportunity, being his status in the game, to meet lots of people, but to have a signed Gordie Howe jersey, Jean Beliveau, that's pretty awesome. Mm-hmm. I was also really happy about how everything worked out with the 9-year-old Dean, who you saw go get to ask his question. And the reason why he stood out to me, as I was at the stage like 15 minutes before the interview, just wanted to be there a little bit early, is I see this little kid with a Calgary hat, and then he's wearing an Al MacInnis jersey. And it's like, number one, I thought that's awesome. And then a little odd, maybe, because you would think like a 9-year-old today would be wearing a Bedsy, right? Yeah. Jersey, or Connor McDavid, Austin Matthews, right?
In Toronto.
I think Al retired in like 2003 or 2004 or something like that. So 20 years ago. And I found out by talking to him, he was his dad's favorite player. And so that's kind of the connection there. And, so to be able to give Dean that experience meant a lot to me, because I just thought of, boy, if I was his age and was being able to meet my favorite player, how awesome would that be? And very, very grateful to. And Al gave him a very thoughtful answer, which, just showed again how much of a great guy he was. And then there was like the question, which I had been debating all morning, that I was going to ask him about, to solve all world's problems, would he choose to give back either his Stanley Cup or the gold medal? And it really does show, Troy, by his answer, how much the cup means to Canadians. And I honestly was surprised by that. But I would have thought, well, geez, you give up your Stanley Cup, and they hadn't won the gold medal in 50 years. Yeah. When he helped Team Canada bring it home to the country of hockey, right? And but the more I asked Canadians at the show afterwards if they were surprised by his answer, it was really interesting how everyone said, "Oh, for sure, he would keep the Stanley Cup," and that because that is how much that means to Canadians. And I guess I never really understood that, and maybe I'm still trying to understand that a little bit. And then you think about like how long it's been since a Canadian team has won the Stanley Cup,
Yep.
and you kind of feel for him, I guess, in that regard. And I guess this year, if it happens, probably not going to be the Leafs, right? But I guess either the Nucks or
Shots
the
fired.
Oilers.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, shots fired. Yeah, well, the country might lose its mind, but
Yeah.
And hey, we have no horse in the race anymore, so I guess I'm rooting for Canada at this point. Team Canada. Anything else that stood out to you?
No, it was a fantastic. He was such just a humble guy, nice guy. How you want everyone that you interact with be like thoughtful. Love that he brought that when you asked to bring the little 9-year-old up, he was all for it. Dean, and it was great, fantastic.
Yep. Okay, we're gonna roll into new product releases. So, Ultimate Collection is out today, and we're behind, so we haven't even done our like checklist and design review. And so
I didn't even know it was out today. That's how bad I've been.
Saw a lot of people breaking it. The cards look really nice, and
I will say this: they do look nice. We'll get to it. Let's get it. I'll hold off on my opinion until we get.
We're late to the game because of our Expo adventures, Troy. And Ultimate Collection is typically one of the biggest releases of the year. It has the potential to produce some of the biggest cards, like a lot of the NHL Shields from Ultimate and other RPAs. Tend to do very, very well on the secondary market. So let's kind of roll through the checklist and designs real quick. 200 cards in the base set for 2022-23 Ultimate. So again, it's the Matty Beniers, Slafkovsky, Owen Power, Matt Boldy, rookie class, not Connor Bedard. No bedsies in 2022-23 Ultimate. So of the 200 cards in the base set, there's 75 vets, 25 legends, and 100 rookies. I don't love sets that have 100 rookies. The reason
especially
is
in this box.
Yeah. I kind of call them owl sets, right? Because there's a lot of who when you're playing.
Is that new? Or did you say that before? I like that.
No, it's new. Yeah. Base vets and legends are all out of 149. Base rookies are out of either 299 or 99. So the quote unquote better rookies are going to be out of 99. Yep. Many of the base rookies are autoed. Mostly, the ones that are autoed are the names that you'd want. Looks like all the key rookies have autos in Ultimate, which is good. None of that 2021 funny business with certain guys choosing not to sign. There's parallels at the base. There's blue out of 99, gold out of 35, purple out of 15, and black 101. There's a number of base auto parallels as well. So all autos in Ultimate are on card. So it's a big plus for the set, Troy. Or at least that's the expectation anyways. 57 of the base vets and legends have autos. Those are 1 in 8. Basically, it's a 1-pack box. So basically hobby odds. Some of the vet autos are super short prints like McDavid, Ovechkin, Matthews, Forsberg, Lindros.
Of course, all
Gretzky, these guys. Patrick Waugh, Messi, and Lemia. Anyone you'd want, right?
Which is, we've kind of heard that. Like some of these guys, like Gretzky, you can't put 3,000 autos of them in every product. Got to hold them back.
Well, they would if they thought they could get away with it, I'm guessing. There are base auto. There's a gold parallel. It's either out of 35, 25, or 15. Purple parallel, all are out of 5. And then there's black 101 parallels. Again, the card designs look very clean this year.
Like the fading where the auto goes. Like don't lose it in the picture, so they kind of fade out the white. I like that.
I get like wanting to switch up jerseys, but we're looking at a McDavid auto here. Do not like that Oilers jersey in a card.
Oh, I think it's cool. I think it's all right.
Okay. Well, we disagree. We'll fight about it later. There's a retro 1999 Ultimate Victory autos as well for both vets and rookies. Vets and legends are 1 in 48 hobby boxes. There's a out of 10 gold parallel as well. Rookies are 1 in 32 hobby boxes, 21 players on the checklist. Most of them are the biggest names. So the example is the Andrei Kuzmenko, another really nice looking card. I think this would be the gold parallel.
Yeah, he's got hockey mouth.
Yeah, hockey mouth is the thing, man.
It's real. It's a real thing, man.
Is there like a medication for it that could sponsor the show?
I don't think
Cures hockey mouth may produce lower half
makes the
leakage or whatever.
Wires your mouth shut when you can't eat.
Troy, check this out, Troy. Ready to get excited for a minute?
I saw this.
In the autos, there's an ultimate inscriptions checklist with only one player on it. These are the redemption. It's a redemption, but it's absolutely the redemption you want, because basically you get an auto signed by the player where you get to pick the inscription. Now there's lots of rules, I'm sure, and character limits, but Shane Wright, Troy, you need this redemption.
If someone gets this, please reach out. I know. Do you talk? Yeah, you can talk about it.
2024 Revenge Tour. Wouldn't that be an awesome inscription? Or can you think of a better
something
one?
About? I don't know how you do this, but something about the press box. If you could get the Shane Wright press box through or something, if he's a good sport, or
probably wouldn't do that one. No, what you'd want is a card where he's like, if you did the Revenge Tour inscription, you'd want where he's like angrily putting on his jersey at the draft.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
So if you pull one of these, Troy will buy it for at least $90,000. So please sell it. At least. Now it depends if the redemption is in good shape. We want to have good corners, good edges. Entering on the redemption is very, very important.
Yeah, 90,000 pesos.
Okay, back to the checklist. The heaviest part of the checklist is going to be the patch autos, rookie patch autos. Yep. These are the kind of the cards that we think of with Ultimate Collection. There's base rookie RPAs. All are out of $9.99. Features 65 rookies. All the key guys are represented there. Another RPA is debut threads. We have a picture here of Juraj Slavkovsky. These are either out of 99 or 49. That features 53 rookies. There is a vet version of debut threads, kind of the sister card, call it. It's pro threads. Those are out of 49 or 25 as well. Then, Troy, there's these cards look really nice. Ultimate rookies, base jumbo RPAs. I love this design. I love that there's kind patch. Of a... Yeah, patch is awesome. Right? We're looking at Own Power.
Right? It's like right at the sword handle. That's cool.
Yeah, be careful, it's sharp. Most rookies like this one for Own Power out of 15. Then there's a whole bunch of cards that are just memorabilia. One of the biggest cards that is very unique to Ultimate, and a concept I really love, are the rookie tandem shield cards, which are out of 2. Oh man, Troy, how about this one?
Yeah, that's great.
So it features like a rookie and then a vet, a well-known vet from the team. So in the case of the Minnesota Wild, you have Matt Boldy and Kirill Kaprizov out of 2.
I already seen an issue. I hate it. I hate that I'm like this.
Why?
I want the orange one, the black and orange one on his jersey in the picture. I want that in the card.
Oh,
I don't know why that bugs me. It's just one of those things. I would still take this card. I'd still take this card, but it's one of those things that bugs me. I know they have no control probably over that, but again, I would still take this card. It's awesome. Wild with shields, but I still kind of wish it was the orange and black.
I think this is like a $1,000, $2,000, or $3,000 card.
Oh, I'll go high-end rookie. It was some steam still.
Boldy
coming off what goals? Was it the most goals he's ever scored?
No, but he done good. I think he had 46.
I would say 2. I'd say 2.
I'd say like 1,800. It's a card I'd very, very much like to have. Well, there's 10 total cards on the checklist. So in addition to Boldy and Kaprizov, there's Own Power, Rasmus Dahlin. That'd be another good one. Andrei Kuzmenko, Bo Horvat. I think Breezy pulled that one.
Probably did he already
pull it? I want to pull, but maybe if you're a Nucks fan. Kent Johnson, Patrick Laine, Dylan Gunther, Clayton Keller, Jake Sanderson, Drake Batherson.
Our friend Phil will pay you $500,000 for that card.
Yeah, you always think that though, and it feels so weird.
No, Phil would probably like, I don't care. I don't want shields. I don't like shields.
Yeah. That's why I love him. Love you, Phil. Braden Schneider, Adam Fox. Then you got Slavkovsky, Suzuki. That's a good one. Jack Quintage Thompson. And then Shane Wright, Ryan Donato. They did Beniers dirty, Troy. No
That's
Beniers.
interesting. I would love to know why. I want to know.
Shots fired, I guess. I don't know.
What was the decision on that?
Even Upper Deck soured on Manny Beniers now, I guess. But okay, this is like way, way, way far in advance, and we have all summer to talk about this. But does your gut tell you today that there's a big Beniers comeback next year, or is he end up being a cult or bust?
I hope it's a big comeback, but I'm not seeing anything that leads me to believe it. But I don't know if he'll be a bust, but I don't think he's going to be storming back and scoring 40 goals or anything.
Okay. Ultimate Power Plays, it's a new card. It's a new dual memorabilia card. This one features, again, players from the same team, 10 cards on the checklist. Jersey cards are 1 in 42 boxes, and there's patch parallels out of 20, like in the case here of Mitch Marner and Austin Matthews. Then there's 101s with tags in them. Which, again, I'd rather have the 20 patch.
I know. I can't. I'm just not a tag person. Like I don't like laundry tags.
You know what the move is to sell the 101 laundry tag and pocket some cash,
yeah,
and just buy the patch parallel out of 20.
Yep.
I would do that. Troy, there's a goalie specific auto memorabilia cards called Ultimate Tendies. These are cool.
I'll say this: I don't know what the other ones look like, but this might be the best. This is a great card, fantastic card. So when I'm actually shooting a puck or passing it, great card.
Now I guess the base ones will have jerseys, and those are 1 in 24 hobby boxes. Parallels include patches out of 20, and just like the last card, laundry tag 101s with the autos. Now there's 10 goalies on the checklist, so you got to do a critique of Upper Deck's the 10 tendies they chose to put on the checklist. We're looking at an Andrei Vasilevsky one, which is just an amazing card. Connor Hellebuck makes a lot of sense. Carter Hart. Oops. Ouch. Yikes. Do-over. Yeah, so that's that. You have Sorokin. We got to talk about him at some point. He's like he's got like the goalie yips or something like that. He's been awful.
Yeah, he's struggling.
Our boy Ottinger. The Pecorine replacement, Jussi Saros.
Yep.
Linus Allmark. No Swayman. Shots fired in Swayman, huh?
I could see though when they were probably building this set, Allmark was kind of the starter. So I'm guessing that's why Allmark is in there and not Swayman.
Philip Grubauer. He lost his starting job to Joey
Well,
Decord,
Joey Decord, right, was playing most of Seattle's games near the end.
Then Officer Bob, who's had like the greatest goalie renaissance in the past 2 years.
Love Officer Bob.
Then Vitek Vanasek. Maybe that's a do-over too. No Shesterkin.
Is he Colorado? No. Yeah.
New Jersey.
New Jersey. Why am I thinking Colorado?
Which way? No Shesterkin, no Flower. Who else are they missing?
I don't know.
No Cam Talbot.
Gus Bus.
Yeah, well, Gus Bus is struggling.
I could see Flower though, because when they were building this again, Flower was kind of our backup, brought in to be that veteran leadership. Shesterkin's surprising.
Of the guys on the checklist, which is the one you would want most?
I don't know. I'm looking at the card. I love this Vasilevsky one. That thing looks awesome. Yeah. Personally, Ottinger, just
because he's one of us.
Yeah,
always got to go there. Showcase cards are really the only inserts. There was no gallery that Upper Deck published for Ultimate, so we're a little limited there. They're 1 in 80 kind of hobby pack odds. It's a rookie insert featuring 10 of the most popular rookies. Again, Ultimate's not really an insert product, so not real high expectations there. And then lastly, Troy, there's a ton of updates, and I'm getting more and more conflicted on updates.
I hate them.
When you're opening a box, there's 4 cards
in
the Ultimate box. And if one of your hits is a 2020 or 21 update, now if it's Mario Lemieux, you're not going to care.
Yeah.
But if it's like David Ferentz or some other like rookie update that, sorry, Predators fans, that relatively nobody cares about, that just leaves a bitter taste in my mouth. It's like, and I don't know why. I don't know what the.
Do you think the update should be like a bonus card? Like you might get 5 cards in your pack because you're getting a bonus.
Or it should be somebody only really, really good, right? Which is very subjective and
that's hard because they want to get those cards out because they were produced. Yeah, I get it. I'd
So
be
there's-
upset too. It stinks.
I counted, Troy. There's 247 different update cards.
Jeez.
So kind of a lot.
I guess so, because these are those pandemic cards, right? That were in the
Yeah.
midst of the pandemic. So it makes, hopefully, I know that everyone wants to get away from update cards. Hopefully that's something. Did Fanatic say anything about update cards? Because maybe if they make an announcement there, then Upper Deck we can limit redemptions and get rid of update cards, so they're not as much.
So what to expect in a hobby box? Remember, there's 4 cards. It's a 1-pack box with 4 cards. You get 1 autograph, 1 autograph memorabilia, premium memorabilia, or premium insert card, 1 memorabilia card, and then 1 base parallel ultimate introductions or ultimate rookies card. Currently, at David Adams, hobby boxes are running about $150 US, so it's about $37.50 a card. At Klusenchar in Canada, it's about $250 Canadian. That's about 182 US equivalent, so it's less expensive here in the US out of the gate, Troy. So here's my thoughts on the price. Now, I was like kind of like Black Diamond. My initial thought was not for me, but at $150, stick with me for a minute.
Yeah.
Compare this to Clear Cut, where you're spending $100 now out of the gate, right? I think you get a lot cheaper now, but you're getting a 1-card shot at it. I think in that context, for me, it's like, yeah, I mean, again, it's going to be a gambling product, just like any rip of a new product, but actually at $150, I don't mind it as much. I'm sure when it comes to the next release and it's the Bedsy rookies, where it's like $600 a box, I'm going to be like, heck no. But overall, I like the designs a lot. I think Upper Deck did a fantastic job on the card designs. I wish the rookie class was better, like every 2022, 23 release. There's some huge cards in this set. And again, that's where you maybe even comparing to Clear Cut, your odds of, you get a dual tandem shield that's bigger than any card you'll probably get out of Clear Cut. And I don't try, I guess at $150, maybe not the worst gamble ever. So
no, I think it's okay at $150. I would wait until the first price drop. Because I'm hoping to do, I shouldn't say this. We've seen the other 22, 23 products struggle. Maybe this one will have the same issue. Maybe not. I mean, $150 seems pretty reasonable, actually, for what this product is. Again, do I see myself running out and buying a lot? No, maybe 1 box for fun. But if it ever drops, I would really consider looking at it. Or
like at 120, 115, would you?
Yeah.
Well, that's the trend. So we'll see if that continues. All right, we're going to roll on to our PWCC Weekly preview. PWCC, of course, is a Gongshow partner and sponsor. We are very, very grateful for their support of our show. It's the start of May, May 2nd. And that also means that today, the May PWCC Premier Auction begins. That's pretty awesome. So you're going to want to go check out this evening all the hockey cards in this month's premiere at pwccmarketplace.com. Also, don't forget about the PWCC fixed price marketplace. Over 5,400 hockey cards to choose from to buy now or place bids or not place bids, place offers on. And then, of course, Troy, finally, the current weekly auction is live. And as we always do, we pick out our favorite amazing vintage and modern cards in this week's auction. And we're going to start with our favorite vintage cards. Okay. First one I selected was a 1953 Parker's Maurice Rocket Richard PSA 4. I think when I was looking at this card, I'm thinking, if I were to start a vintage player PC, I legit might go with Rocket Richard. I can't tell you why.
Choice.
Maybe the coolest hockey nickname ever, Rocket Richard. I don't know, tough to beat Mr. Hockey, but it's up there nonetheless. Now, this card is not a rookie. It's Maurice, because Maurice Richard's rookie was, of course, in the famed 1951 Parker set. So it would be what you consider a player run card. It's also horizontal. It does have a full body shot of Richard. What would you characterize, making a play for the puck? Is that a good way to describe?
Maybe. It looks like he's going in on the goalie, so I don't know if he moved the puck to his backhand and about maybe a deke.
Is he going for a Michigan goal, do you think?
Yeah.
Oh, wouldn't that be funny if like there was like kind of like a Back to the Future like hockey where instead of like Marty McFly, you have Trevor McZegris, and he goes like back.
We copyright this. We copyright this idea right now.
He goes back to like the Stanley Cup Finals and does a Michigan goal, and like just like when like Marty was playing the guitar like all crazy, and everyone's just like looking at him. Like,
this is like a bad Anaheim or a bad Mighty Ducks movie or something.
Yeah, copyright. Okay, yeah, so he's maybe deking. Card's a little bit off-centered, of course, like you would expect with most vintage cards. So it's off-centered to the right a little bit, and then to the top as well. There's cornerware too. It is a PSA 4, right? So you're not expecting perfection. And then I talk about this a lot, but I think it's very important when it comes to vintage cards because a lot of them are going to be lower grade. To me, the most important thing is not just the number on the slab, it's the eye appeal of the card. And I would say for a PSA 4, this card has really, really good eye appeal. It's got good coloring. Looks like the registration is pretty good because of like how light the border on the images, sort of the off-centeredness, I don't find super distracting. So it's a card that I would definitely enjoy having in my collection. So Troy, in honor of picking a Maurice Richard card, in a case for those who are not familiar with his career, I researched really quickly 5 must-know facts about Rocket Richard. So I want to roll through them pretty quick. He was the first player to score 50 goals in a season, achieving this milestone during the 1944-45 season in only 50 games. It's pretty impressive. Right? It would set a new standard for scoring in the league and was a significant achievement, of course, at that time. Over his career, he scored 544 goals, which at the time of his retirement was the most by any right winger in NHL history. That's pretty cool. We've talked about this before, but it's kind of worth mentioning again very quickly. The Richard Riot. I think maybe it was you who did a really, like, at one point early on, a pretty in-depth breakdown of what happened. But in 1955, a riot broke out at the Montreal Forum, event later known as the Richard Riot. This occurred after Richard was suspended for the remainder of the 1954-55 season in the playoffs, a decision that upset many fans who viewed the suspension as unjust. And, you know, it's not just like a significant event in sports, but also in the cultural history of Quebec. 8 Stanley Cup championships, Troy, for Richard. That's pretty impressive. And then last one, first player to 500 goals. First player in NHL history to reach the milestone of 500 career goals. You know, setting a benchmark that we look at still use today, right? So that's pretty incredible. At PSA 4, this card is a Pop 63, 214 copies graded higher. The highest graded copies are, there's 2 PSA 9s, no PSA 10s. Last sale of the 1953 Parkhurst Maurice Rocket Richard PSA 4 was in March when one sold for $600 US. All-time high, Troy, $705 US from February of this year. You got a current bid?
$140 US.
Well, I'd snatch that up in an instant for $150. So I'm sure it'll go up. All right, you got the next one?
I do. Are you ready? Are you fully prepared for this next one?
Did you share this on text, like one of our text threads? Because
yes. Because I said, do you think this guy left any women for the rest of his teammates when they went out? This is our boy right now. So
Canes Grizzly Bears by day, and Snags women by night, right?
Love this. 1975 OPG hockey, Blaine. And now I'm having a panic attack, crisis of confidence. I want to say Stoughton, but I started thinking, is that right? I don't know. I couldn't find any pronunciation guides. So I'm going to go with Stoughton. I apologize if that's wrong. Number 265, PSA 9. Josh, it's a PSA Pop 1 of 13 with just 2 graded higher. And this Incredible. This is where I just scroll through and I see a picture like this and I just stop. That's it. I know what card I'm doing. Plus, I didn't know anything about this guy. And it's actually fascinating I didn't know anything about him, and he's not. I was fully expecting one of our 10 goals, 100 assists. No, this guy was actually decent, really decent.
You're gonna
It's
add
like,
him to
it
the
was,
greatest player to wear each number segment or something like that.
oh,
That's weird.
he's probably down the line. I don't know what number he was, but so yeah. But this is one of those cards I just love looking at. So again, 1975 OPG. So I'm going to do my set and then the card and then learn a little about a Blaine. I'm going to say Stoughton. I apologize if that's wrong. Okay, 1975 OPG from Bobby Burrell's Vintage Hockey Collector Book. 396 cards in the set. The checklists have an interesting variation that sees the card that was supposed to be numbered 395 accidentally marked as number 267. Just weird. Hobby mystery. Why did they do that? They don't know. No one knows. Also, this era also ushered in the true age of the traded card, as several cards, including Phil Esposito and Brad Park, can be found with or without a trade designation. I became super familiar with the traded cards really early on in my collecting as a kid because I was a Kent Herbeck guy. And his rookie, he's got two rookies, but the individual rookie is in 1982 Topps traded set.
Yep,
Topps traded. That's why I know what the traded sets are. But yeah, so this one, 1975 OPG, kind of ushered that in for them. Some other notes from Cardboard Connection on the 75 OPG set. For the design, player picture takes up much of the space on the card. Obviously, team name appears at the top in block letters and the name at the bottom of the player. Circular puck design notes the position. Card has a white border. It contains everything outside the photo. The back of the card is printed in English and French, usually par for the course. But Josh, also on the back, we have my favorite thing. There is a cartoon. Now, some of the cards have a cartoon about a player or the player that appears on the card. Others have an illustration of a referee's call instead. This one says, who has one of hockey's hardest shots? And then the answer is Dennis Hull. So there you go. But
I would have said Al MacInnis, but this was in 1975.
That's what I thought when I first
Al
read
MacInnis, not McKinnon. Jesus.
All right. Notable rookies in this set include Pierre LaRoche, Clark Gillies, and Harold Snepsts. I love Harold Snepsts. He played for the North Stars for a little bit. Story about him. I went into Kokish, our local sporting goods store, when I was about, I don't know what age I was, probably, 13, 14. And ran into Harold Snepsts buying some shin pads. I just thought that was wild. Like, why is he buying shin pads from the sporting goods store? So that's my Harold Snepsts story.
Did they have to buy their own equipment?
I don't know if he just maybe he's just getting some for a pickup game, like pickup set, or I don't know what he was doing. But you wouldn't think so. But again, this was the 80s, so who knows? So looking at the card itself, PSA 9 card looks really nice overall. Centering might just be slightly off left to right and top to bottom. More top to bottom, I think, than left to right. But it's pretty good centering on it. Edges and corners look nice. You can see a little of the OPG rough cut, like we like to mention, at the bottom left. You can see some of that flailing on the top. You can see it. Picture on the front looks great. Our man is looking very good in this picture. Very noble. Would you say a grizzly bear hunter?
Oh, yeah.
Looking good. Yep. And then
Dragon Slayer try.
Dragon Slayer. There we go. So card looks great. Really nice looking card. Now the player, our boy, Blaine Stoughton. Nickname is Stash. Yeah, it is.
100% appropriate.
That is 100% appropriate. He was a right winger from Gilbert Plains, Manitoba. So Josh, NHL stats, 258 goals, 191 assists, 449 points in 526 games played in 8 seasons. Okay. Played in the NHL with the Penguins, the Maple Leafs, Whalers, and the New York Rangers. What is interesting, though, is that Stoughton, God, I hope I get that right, is that he started in the NHL, but then went on to play 3 seasons in the WHA before returning to the NHL. So in the WHA...
Would he be the all-time leading goal scorer in NHL history if he had stayed?
No.
No, that's Bobby.
No, because he only played 3 seasons in the WHA.
Yeah.
But in the WHA, he was on a line with Rick Dudley and Rich Leduc. I think Leduc, Leduc. They were known as the LSD line.
Great.
Great. During the 79-80 NHL seasons, Stoughton tied for the goal-scoring lead with Charlie Simmer and Danny. Jeez, I hate this. Gare. So it was a Gary. I'm sorry. I'm a horrible person. Each of them had 56 goals. So we actually led the NHL in scoring. If you combine his NHL and WH stats, here they are: 347 goals, 281 assists for 628 points in 745 games played. I just think that's kind of fascinating. I know you can't count WHA and the NHL stats.
You can't do it.
Gretzky would have more stuff too, right? Because he played in the Did he play? Was it WHA or WHL? I can't remember what.
WHA.
Anyway,
Bobby Hall had like 900 goals.
Yeah.
Between the NHL and WHA. Now, I'm guessing, Troy, that whenever it was when he was on the LSD line, that was like very naughty back in the day. Like if you're a kid and you wore like a LSD line t-shirt to school, like you got like sent home and reprimanded or something like that. So this was probably very controversial at the time.
Yeah. Great card. PSA name pop count of this card is 13 with 2 graded higher. Last sale of this card I could find was on April 3rd of 2022 via PWCC for $28.80 US. Current bid, Josh, $6 US. Go get it.
Not a lot of stash collectors out there, Troy.
No, I don't think so, but just a fascinating guy. Good player too.
All right, last vintage card we're going to feature today is the 1989-90 OPC Joe Sakic rookie. This is a BGS 9.5 gem mint. Now, I'm going to ask you a question here. Do you think that the Sakic rookie is the most iconic junk wax era hockey card there is?
I can't tell you which one is, but I don't. Off the top of my head, no. It's up there, but I don't think it's the most iconic. I would like this card to have a piece of gum sitting over the top of it, like our pack that we opened at the last expo. We were gifted a pack from a good friend of our show, and we did pull the Sakic, but it had the gum stuck right on it.
Used to it.
We know there's all these tricks you can try. Believe me,
we tried them all. We froze it, we put it in the freezer overnight.
We did everything, and it was fused to it.
Now, one of the things that's very interesting about this card is that the OPC, believe it or not, is not the more valuable. It's actually the tops is more valuable. For almost every other case of cards in the 70s and 80s, the OPC would be the more desired or valuable card. So if you are hunting for a Joe Sakic rookie and you want to avoid paying top dollar, then you might want to focus your search on the OPC version. Why is the tops more valuable? It's mainly due, Troy, because there's much lower gem rates on tops copies, and then the perception that tops at a lower print run in the 1989 set. So I did a little like pop comparison here. So of this card, the 1989 OPC BGS 9.5, there's 403 copies out of 2,375 graded. That is a 17% gem rate. Looking at the tops version of, again, the BGS 9.5 pop count, it's 4. So 403 compared to 4. And there was, of the tops version, 578 graded. Huge difference. Gem rate on the tops version, 0.6%.
Wow.
So, and then the other element that factors into, maybe why this card can be viewed by some as less desirable at times is the possibility that it was sheet cut. Beckett was known to grade sheet cut cards from this era. Tops typically would not. The clues that a card like this one may have been sheet cut is you'll typically see like very crisp edges and corners where a lot of OPG still had more evidence of that fraying or rough cut at the time for cards that were pack pulled. And then the other sort of telltale sign is when you look at the subgrades, and if the lowest subgrade is surface, that can be a sign that, again, it was a sheet cut card, because they would roll the sheets up, which would kind of be abrasive on itself against the surface, which could cause some surface wear and, again, lower the grade a little bit. Now, this card has all those hallmarks. It's got the lowest grade is surface 9, corners and edges look almost perfect. Centering is a 10. Does it mean it's sheet cut? No. Right? There's no way to tell, but I think a lot of people would have that perception, and in a lot of cases, perception is reality. Now, again, pack pulled cards versus sheet cut. We've said this many times before in our show. It's not a right or wrong or good or bad distinction. It's just generally accepted as collector preference. So again, it doesn't mean like it's not like a fake patch or trimmed card or something nefarious, right? Because these are cards, they were all produced at the same time. It's just some were cut by the factory at the time of production and packed out into hobby boxes, and others were kept in sheets and then cut at a later date. Now, the card itself is Sakic in his Nordiques uniform. I'd call it like an on-ice portrait, right? Maybe like when he was like standing for the national anthem or something like that, right? Not wearing a helmet. What I love about this card, though, is his look. Like he's like totally giving like blue steel to a chick in the crowd.
Blue Lander.
Yeah. Giving that looks very serious and sultry in the photo. Last sale of a 1989-90 OPG Joe Sakic rookie BGS 9.5 was on March 11th when it sold for $103 US. All-time high, $361 US from March 2021. Now, there have it because there's only 4 tops BGS 9.5s. None of them sold publicly, but I think like the PSA 10 tops will sell for like $4,000 or $5,000, right? So huge difference again. You got a current bid?
$13 US.
Okay, we're gonna switch over to modern. And first card that I picked, Troy, is a 2012-13 Panini Sidney Crosby Gold Prism out of 10 BGS 9.5. A huge card.
Was this redemption?
Why?
Because it's Panini. Bad joke.
It just came in 2012.
It just got here. No kidding.
Yeah. It is from one of the first of 2 years, Troy, that Panini produced hockey cards.
Well,
I would argue, maybe there's others, but the gold prisms are my favorite of the Prism hockey cards. Definitely, probably, in my opinion, the best non-auto or non-memorabilia cards. So if you're a Crosby collector, I would think this would be one of the cards that you would covet. Beautifully designed card too. Great image of Crosby. Love the gold bordering of the prism there. Now, the prism set in 2012 was part of the Panini Rookie Anthology release. There's 52 prism vets and 58 rookies on the checklist for a total of, was it 110 cards, something like that. So the notable vet names aside from Crosby include Teemu Selanne, Patrick Kane, Jaromir Jagr, Pekka Rinne. You can get a Pekka Rinne gold prism, Troy.
I have one.
Martin Brodeur. Oh, you got one? Yeah, of course. Flower, Joe Thornton, Steven Stamkos, and Alexander Ovechkin. So Crosby, of course, is definitely one of the biggest names on the checklist. Not a lot of big rookies in 2012. So I think more of a vet chase there. In addition to the base prism, there were parallels. So there's the silver prism, red out of 50, blue out of 25, and then, of course, gold out of 10. Now, there is a 2013 prism gold Crosby out of 10 as well. But again, 2012 being the first is more, I think, desirable and valuable of the two. So, Troy, keep it along with the gold theme of this card for Prism Gold. Most known, we brought it up on our show before, that Sidney Crosby is a member of the Triple Gold Club. You get added to this exclusive club by winning the gold medal in the Olympics, the gold medal in the World Championships, and the silver Stanley Cup, which in some crazy, bizarre world adds up to
2 golds,
triple gold.
1 silver. Hey, it's majority gold.
Yeah. But I do have a fun fact about this, though. He's one of 30 players total in this very esteemed club, Troy. Of the 30 members, he's the only player to have had captained all 3 triple gold winning teams. Not even Troy, your guy and triple gold medal, Hakan Lube, captained all 3 teams. He didn't do it. Hakan Lube. Crosby did it. So there you go. Last sale of 2012, Panini, Sidney Crosby Gold Prism out of 10 was a PSA 9 that sold for $12,500 US dollars last January. Now check this out, Troy. On December 16th, 2016, some very, very smart collector bought one of these, a raw copy, for $17.50.
Wow. Good for them.
That'd be awesome.
Good
Yeah,
for
good
them.
for you.
That's a great pickup.
Yeah. You got a current bid?
$1,025 US dollars.
Yeah, very cool card. All right, you got the next one.
I do got the next one. All right, Josh, here it is in all its glory. 2020 Upper Deck, the Cup. Duos, Eric Lindros, John LeClaire. Enshrinements duo, I should say. Serial numbered 1 out of 10. PSA 7. PSA Pop 101. Just one graded higher. All the fun stuff. Auto grade of a 10. Fantastic card. And I guess when I saw this card, I was like, huh. I'm like, well, we got 2/3 of the Legion of Doom. So I guess this card should be looked at just because we all love the Legion of Doom. It has 2 of the 3. And it's funny because I looked at this card. I was like, all right, I write it down in our outline. This is a card I'm going to do. And then I actually took a break and started, looking at Instagram or something. And it was kind of funny because I was going to reach out to Neil, our friend, Irish Flyers collector, to see if he had this card or not, because it's Flyers and he loves Flyers, but I didn't. But then I saw Sports Card Cartel, our friend, put a post out, or he reposted, what's his name? P. Ryan Collection actually posted something, but then he reposted that this card is out there too. So I guess I picked a good one if some people are looking at it. So I think this card's awesome.
You think
yeah.
Cutter Gauthier is going to bid on this? Since he wouldn't meet with John LeClaire when he was that shots fired?
Well, I don't know what happened with him, but he did a 180. No, I did a 180, not a 360, because I mean he'd be right back on the Flyers. He did a 180. I've just never seen someone so happy, so pumped. I love the Flyers. I'm gonna do everything for the Flyers. And then when they try to meet with you, nope, I'm out. Don't even talk to me, and he gets traded. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. But again, this card's awesome. So 2/3 of the Legion of Doom. It's an enshrinement duos autograph card out of 10. PSA 7 auto has a 10 grade. I guess both autos. I'm assuming they grade both when there's duels. But here's my thing. It's a PSA 7. I could care less about the grade. I don't care about the grade. I guess it's nice to have the autos authenticated and all that, but the grades, and that doesn't even matter to me. This is like one, I would buy it. If I got this, I'd crack it. I don't want it in the holder. I think the holder takes away from it. Card looks really good. There's some if you zoom in, like top right here, there's some very minor corner issue. Again, there might be some surface stuff on this card, but just visually from the pictures, looks really nice. I didn't see anything glaringly wrong with it. So that's why, to me, I don't care about the PSA 7. Obviously, I've said this 50 times. It's got 2/3 of the Legion of Doom. Eric Lindros, John LeClaire. The other member, Josh, of the Legion of Doom that's missing is it Michael Renberg? Yeah, I always want to say Mikhail.
Mikhail?
Having two Mikhail Renberg, Michael Renberg, I'm going to go with one of those. But
okay,
I wanted to do a little learning about the Legion of Doom. So they were a forward line, Josh, for the Philadelphia Flyers, who played together between 1995 and 97. They were given this name not only for their offensive play, but also their ability to dominate games physically. Each of the three were 6 feet 2 inches or taller and weighed over 230 pounds. The name was coined by Flyers center Jim Montgomery and popularized by Flyers announcer Gene Hart. Combined stats for the Legion of Doom altogether in Philadelphia were 305 goals, 361 assists, 666 points, and 631 penalty minutes in 547 games played in 3 seasons. I know, isn't that nuts? All 3 members of the Legion of Doom played together for the first time on January 14th, 2017, since Renberg's trade during Renberg got traded, broke up the line. They finally all played together again in 2017 during the Flyers alumni game against the Penguins alumni.
That's awesome.
I just thought that was fun.
What was the name of the wrestlers in Legion of Doom?
Was that Animal and Hawk?
Those are Road Warriors, right?
I thought they changed their name though at some time. Here, let's look it up quick. Because now this will bug me for
you're the wrestling guy.
Rest of the time.
Let's just throw this.
Yeah, so it's all Road Warriors were also known as the Legion of Doom.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I loved them as a kid. But they had like the spikes on the football shoulder pads, right?
Yep. Oh yeah, for sure. All right, this card is the number 1 out of 10 copy if you care about that thing. So it's one of the bookends. Last sale of this card I could find was a PSA 9 copy of the 6 out of 10 copy that sold on February 11th of this year via eBay, verified in Terapeak for $380. A raw copy of the other bookend, the 10 out of 10 card, sold on December 7th of 2023 via eBay, verified in Terapeak for $294.91. Current bid on this is $145 US.
Hey, getting back to the Gong Show Wrestling podcast real quick for a second. Yes. Legion of Doom Hawk is Minnesotan, right? Laurinaitis?
Yes, I thought they both were.
Oh, really? And then one of them died, right? Animal died, right?
I believe Animal, yes. I believe one of them's dead. I don't know which one, though.
Rest in peace, whichever one's dead.
Yeah, I thought one of them. So there's a big... Okay, we're going to go way off the rails here. So there's a lot of rumors. I don't know if it's been announced. I haven't looked, but tons of rumors that WrestleMania is almost 99% sure going to be in Minneapolis next year. And they're thinking a lot of it would be a callback to the history. There's a ton of history in WWE.
Oh, yeah.
Or any wrestling. Of
Vern Gagne, right?
Yeah, and all the Minnesota wrestlers. So that's kind of a big rumor. I haven't seen if it's been announced where it's at yet, but it sounded pretty sure that Minnesota was going to get it. We'll see.
So if WrestleMania comes to Minneapolis, are you going?
Yes.
All right, Troy. Last card we're going to feature in this week's PWCC Weekly Auction is a 2023-24 Upper Deck Connor Bedard Young Guns Silver Outburst BGS 9.5. 2 reasons. $10
million.
$10 trillion. I think, in my very humble opinion, this might be the best looking Connor Bedard rookie card, especially in person.
I disagree. I disagree, but I think the Outburst Red looks better.
Well, it looks better in your bank account, that's for sure. But okay,
I think the picture looks better too. Or I just like the red. I like the color match.
Same picture, yeah. Okay, but I would actually, if I was picking a card just on looks, I would go for the silver. But I respect your opinion for the red. I love the looks of this card. If it ever gets to a more reasonable price point, I would love to have one. Now, the other reason why I chose this card is, could there be, if you agree with me and this card strikes your fancy, could there be a BGS discount? This card.
That'll be interesting.
Pin in that. Now, this one too, it's a BGS 9.5 Gem Mint Plus. That means at least all 4 subgrades for corners, centering, edges, and surface all have at least a minimum 9.5 subgrade. And the plus means that one of the subs has a 10 grade. And in this case, it's the centering. So it's a BGS 9.5 Gem Mint Plus. Now, the BGS 9.5 pop count for the Bedard Young Guns Upper Silver is 8 with 15 graded. Now, if you compare that to PSA, there's 28 PSA 10s. Currently out of 133 graded. Pretty low gem rate, 21% for PSA.
Well, I'm curious, like the person, I would love to know the thought process, because obviously I'm guessing they were intending to flip this if it got a higher grade. And I just don't know why you wouldn't go to PSA for the value.
Yeah, well, we'll get to that.
I don't know. Oh, you actually go into that? Okay.
I go into it, yeah. Overall, though, in total, right, 28 PSA 8 with BGS, so right now only 36 gem in, so pretty low pop count. And remember, this is the card that essentially replaced the French variation as far as print run and collation. So pack odds for Young Guns Outburst Silver in Series 2 are 1 in 60 packs. There's 50 players on the Young Guns checklist, meaning the odds to pull a Bedsy is 1 in 3,000 hobby packs. With 12 packs in a hobby box, there's one of these on average in 1 in 250 hobby boxes. So it's a long-winded way of saying it's a pretty tough chase.
Yeah.
And even though there's one of these in every 250 hobby boxes, we've already seen 168 public sales of any copy graded or raw. I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go, Troy. buckle up, put on your helmet. The only sale to date for a BGS 9.5 was on April 23rd when one sold for $1,750. So that's like 2 weeks ago, right? Last sale for a PSA 10 was April 25th for $4,101 US.
Wow.
So if you compare those last two sales, the BGS less than half of the PSA 10. So there you go, BGS discount. And with the Gem Mint Plus grade, if you can get it at that 1750-ish range, you might crack that sucker and send it to PSA, and which can be it might come back at 2. Arbitrary they can be at times, but in theory, there could be kind of an instant profit baked in there. You got a current bid?
$1,425 US. So
that's already really close to that 1750 of buyer's premium. We'll have to see how high this one goes. All right, Troy. Well, you might normally think this is very, very close to the end of the show, but in all actuality, the show is really just beginning because for once in our life, we have a ton of personal pickups that we're very, very excited to share. These are from the Spring Toronto Sport Card Expo, which we were at last week, and I will turn it over to you.
All right. I got bunches, so here we go. I'm just going to start sharing. So remember, my goal, I said I was looking for Minnesota Wild, Minnesota North Stars, and specifically Marian Gaborik cards. It was like my big hunt, and then Pekka Rinnes if I saw any. Now, this is Bonehead Troy. I got like 4 or 5 awesome Rene cards from listeners that stopped me and said, "Hey, I got this for you. I just want, it's from my collection." I forgot to take photos of any of those, and I never asked any of them if I could say it on the show. So I didn't put any of them in. So I apologize for that, but I got some really, really cool Pekka cards for sure. But I didn't buy any. The only one I really saw, there was a 101 that a guy had, but it was an SPX 101, and I'm just not an SPX guy. It's not my favorite.
Not your jam.
Thought it was a little not my jam. So here we go. Wild, North Stars, Gaborik. So the first card I got, Josh, I'm going to share it on the screen. 2011 Panini Contenders, Cal Clutterbuck, NHL Inc. Found this, me and Louie, we're just the Thursday night, we found a $1 box that was a gold mine for North Stars and Wild stuff. I mean,
nice. Maybe
half of these cards or 70% are from that $1 box. And he likes the same thing. So we were kind of splitting them up, trying to figure out who wants what. But this was a Cal Clutterbuck. I loved Cal Clutterbuck when he was here. Very clean auto. Super cheap. You're going to see all these cards. And besides the one nice Dino Ciccarelli, total was maybe $50 to $75. I got it all for. So that's the first one. Second one, 2011 Parker's Champions autographs. Basil McRae, big tough guy for the North Stars. I actually played summer hockey with him when I was in high school. I'd go play men's league in the summer, and Shane Churla, Basil McRae, some of these North Star kind of fourth line, checking line thugs would be out there, and they could still school me any day.
Look at the size of his shoulder pads, Troy.
I know. They're
giant,
huge football
gigantic.
pads. Yeah. But I love this card. It looked awesome. Auto's a little hard to see, but love the North Stars jersey on it. All right. Third card. Rolly the Goalie, 2005 SB Game Used Dwayne Rollison's Significance auto. So I just thought a cool card, great looking picture. I love, early Wild jersey and everything. Numbered 88 out of 100. Thought that was pretty cool. Fourth card, 2006 SP Authentic Pierre-Marc Bouchard, Sign of the Times. Not the biggest fan of this Wild jersey, but it's a time in history, I guess we'll say. And I actually liked Pierre-Marc Bouchard. I think he had a lot of concussion issues.
Loved him.
Yeah, he was injured. He was a tiny guy, one of those small players, but great card. Love that I was able to get this one. All right, this is kind of I saw this and I was like, I have to have this one because I didn't have it. 22 Upper Deck Series. Oh God, is it Series 2? I think. Kirill Kaprizov Lunchbox Legends. I think it's just hilarious. Good looking card. I like the Lunchbox, the color on the back. Got it for $1. Why not?
$1.
Next card, 2013 Panini Dominion Mikhail Granlund auto. Again, this is an event worn, but it's numbered out 299. Clean auto. I think it was $10, $15, something like that. Next card. Now we're getting into some good ones. 2012 Panini Classic Signatures, Neil Broughton.
Love it.
Love Neil Broughton, Minnesota boy. Great looking North Stars jersey with an auto. And then from the same set, Craig Hartsburg, defenseman for the North Stars, hockey mouth. I think that's Andy Van Helmond in the background, the referee. Love, just a great card.
How do you know that?
Oh, huh? Oh, I was 80s hockey all day, baby. He had the unique helmet too. And he
can't pronounce a single French name, and you're picking out referees in the background of hockey cards.
Yeah, no kidding. Okay. This one, 2007 Upper Deck Sweet Shot, Marian Gaborik signature shots, puck signings. Again, Gabi. Awesome auto, very clean. Super cheap card. Way too cheap, but anyways, I bought it. Love it. Next one is actually one that you gave me from a listener. Drop this off with us, I think. It's a 2001 Bowman Young Stars Marian Gaborik Fabric of the Future jersey. This is fantastic. I was kind of blown away. Awesome looking card. Again, Marian Gaborik, sweet jersey patch or jersey swatch in it. And a Bowman.
Yeah, this card was given to me, which I was very appreciative of, but I know that you're kind of on the whole Gabby train right now. And so I thought it'd be pay it forward, Troy, and give it to you.
Yep. So just a fantastic card. Next card, 2010 Panini Certified Dino Ciccarelli Throwback Threads autographs. So huge Dino guy, tons of goals, Hall of Famer, I think. Yeah, he's in the Hall of Fame. North Stars, love it. And then my final pickup, 2007 SP Authentic Dino Ciccarelli Rookie Review autograph patches. You do not see 3-color North Star stuff that often, so I kind of had to get this. I actually bought this. Jeremy Lee had this, and I bought it from him because it is an awesome card. So that is my 12 pickups, and I guess 11 pickups, and then the one you kind of paid it forward to me.
Now you'll have no pickups for the next 4 months. All right, my turn, Troy. So the first one that I did a trade. I traded one card for basically 3.
Okay.
So I had a 2014 OPC Platinum David Pastrnak White Ice out of 199 PSA 10. Kind of a trade bait card that it's a big card. I really respect Pasta, and I know to like East Coast hockey collectors is a much bigger deal. And so I've been kind of keeping it for trade bait. So I got one card that I've coveted for a long time, and then 2 others that I really, really liked for it. So the first card that in my haul is a 2021-22 Metal Universe Kirill Kaprizov Jambalaya PSA 10. It's the first Kaprizov Jambalaya, so there was not one for his rookie year. Love my boy Kirill. Love Jambalayas. I like the 2021 design as well. A pop 5 at PSA 10, so not bad there. The second one I picked up is a 2015 OPC Platinum Mario Lemieux Retro Rainbow Gold out of 149 PSA 10. Checks a lot of boxes for my PC here. It's a GOAT. Of course, I love Mario Lemieux. Huge fan of OPC Retros. Then there's gold, numbered, PSA 10, pop 6, and just an awesome looking card, in my opinion. So very, very happy to get this one. Then the third card is a 2013 Fleer Retro Sidney Crosby Fleer Ultra Red Medallion out of 99 PSA 10. Also a big Fleer Ultra fanboy. And I kind of feel like these cards fly under the radar. You know, there was the 2012 version, so it's like not super smart in that regard. But I just really like this card, like the look of it. We'll enjoy it in my PC. And then if the hobby market ever catches on, it's a bonus. The next one I purchased, Troy, it was a 2017-18 OPC Platinum Wayne Gretzky Seismic Gold out of 50. It's a raw card, listed at 500 Canadian, compromised in negotiating with the dealer. Picked it up for 400 Canadian, which I think is like 290 or something like that US. I'm very happy with that. Of course, love Wayne Gretzky. Love Campbell Conference Wayne Gretzky in all-star uniforms. Big fan to a Seismic Gold, so this one really speaks to me. Card is in super nice shape. No idea if it's a gem. And kind of the funny, like the sticking part of the negotiation was like, if you look at like corners, edges, surface, the card's like amazing. And the dealer was very rightfully so pointing that out to me. And then I asked him, I was like, I buy it. I'm on board with everything you're saying, but how do you know if these cards are centered?
Yeah.
Like this year is impossible to tell and you have to like go look at PSA 10s, but I don't even know if I'll ever grade this one. I just want it in my PC, so I don't really care. It's Gretzky's first seismic gold, so that's a bonus there. The only other Gretzky seismic gold is from 2018, where he's wearing an Oilers uniform. Then my last pickup of note is a total homer purchase. I had to get this 2023-24 OPG paper Brock Faber retro black out of 100. It's his jersey number, so it's number 7 out of 100. Seller's asking 100 Canadian, is able to negotiate it down to 90, which is like $66 US, something like that. The card looks awesome, with my untrained eye, but might grade it. So I guess that means it'll be a PSA 6. We'll find out. But I just love this year's retro design from OPG, and it's our boy Brock and a jersey number, so had to do it. I also bought a ton of boxes and got completely smoked. We had a number of guys at Chateau Gongshow hit some huge cards we mentioned on a wrap-up show, but that was not you and me, Troy.
No.
I did open up a couple. I want to mention a couple of 2014-15 OPG paper boxes. Did not get anything big, but the cards are amazing. It was a ton of fun. Wasn't super expensive. I think like 150 Canadian a box is what I paid for, so I could definitely live without any super big hits. But I highly recommend, if you're just looking for a fun rip with cool cards. We got a ton of gifts from people, and it's almost unfair to mention everyone or to single a couple out, but I just had to. We're super appreciative of any gifts. They're totally unnecessary. You and I are both feel weird about accepting them. It's hard to do that because just don't feel worthy, I guess, maybe in some cases. But anyone that was generous enough to give us cards for our PC, I just want you to know that we're super grateful. There's one gentleman, I'm not going to name him because I didn't ask his permission, but he'll know who he is. He's been so kind and generous to us, Troy. I don't even know what to say. He's the nicest person. He's someone that I'm always excited to see at the expo. He's a fan of our show, which is mind-blowing to me because he's a super vintage collector, has been collecting for years. He knows so much more about the hobby than we do. I kind of feel like we should be listening to his hockey card podcast.
Yeah, no kidding.
He's a tremendous gift giver too, not just willing to part with some cool stuff, but his gifts are very thoughtful, meaningful. They have a story and challenge us in ways as podcast hosts. And so he's a vintage guy and has been sort of stretching us to learn about the category. And one of the things that I told him too is that, and I think you feel the same way, and this applies to everyone. One of the things that makes it so weird or uncomfortable for us to accept gifts from people, I think, is because I don't think you and I ever want people to think that that's why we want to engage with people or talk to people or get to meet people, right? It's that's honestly, just coming up to us and shaking our hand and telling us about your collecting experience. And if you do say you like our show, that means more than anything to us. And so just wanted to throw that out there. But I had to mention 2 gifts that this gentleman gave me, which are just insane. And this first one is such an amazing story. It's a 1970-71 Esso Power Player stamp, Bobby Orr, non-perforated. So these cards were given out as packs of 6 at Esso gas stations in Canada. If you purchase, Troy, $3 in gas. Kind of funny, thinking in today's terms. They were connected in the pack by they're perforated, so you had to tear them apart. And then you could also get a small plastic Power Player trader wallet to store and trade stamps with other collectors. So what Esso did is, if at the end of the year you were missing, because there was I think 200 some cards in the set, if you were missing any of the stamps or whatever they were called, there was a mail-in order form that you could order for 2 cents each any of the missing stamps, and they would send them to you. Now, so these mail-in maybe come redemption stamps where they had blank backs, no perforations, and are much, much rarer than the base perforated stamps. So this Bobby Orr that was given to me is one of those rare non-perforated blank back stamps. It's very, very cool. I'm grateful to have this. I could not find a sale. Not that I would ever sell it, but I was just curious. Could not find a single sale.
Yep.
So, and that to me, that just gives you an indication of rarity. Now, how do I know all this info? There's 2 whole pages of the 1970-71 SO Power Player stamps in Bobby Burrell's vintage hockey collector
I'll
book.
hold it up so everyone can see. That's the cover. If you can find it, it's out of print. We're going to have Bobby on at some point, and I'm going to ask him when's the revised edition coming out, or is the 3rd printing. I think it's been in print a couple times.
So what a kind of cool, awesome. I love cards or memorabilia that has stories, and I just love the story around this one. So if that's not enough, the same dude gifted me a sealed pack of 1986-87 OPG hockey. Totally amazing. It's been torturing me ever since. This card, this pack speaks to me in my dreams, Troy. It says, "Open me, open me, open me." It's an awesome pack. The pack's in really good shape too. So obviously the question is, could there be a Patrick Waugh rookie card? Should I open it? Should I grade it? Should I just leave it and let it to continue to haunt my dreams? What would you do, Troy, if you had?
I would open it because I got here. I'm not to steal thunder, but the same person that Josh is talking about also gifted me 3 83-84 OPG packs. But his challenge to me was he wanted me to rip them and see what I got. Try to get the Pelle Lindbergh because he knows that's one of my favorite hockey card of all time. And I ripped them, and it was awesome. I got like a Yari Curry. I got Mel Bridgman. If you don't know that card, look it up. He's in a silver helmet, no teeth. It's fantastic looking. Who else? Ron Duguay. I got some just awesome cards. Some of these cards I do remember having as a kid, and it was just awesome to open these packs. So he gave me 3 83-84 OPGs, and then he goes, "Oh, hold on, I want to give you this too." Pulls out a complete full set 83-84 OPG in a box. And he's like, "I want you to have this. I want you," because he's challenging us on vintage stuff. "I want you to go through it. Look at the Pelle, find, go through these cards, read them, and all that stuff." Now, it's not like a gem mint set. It's not like he said, here's this perfect PSA 10 set. No, he gave me this great. All the cards look great. There's no creases, and they're just awesome looking. So, yes, he listens to this show, and I just want to say thank you again to him because it's amazing what his knowledge that he gives us, and for things he decides that we should have that just boggle my mind that someone would do that. But
yeah, so many people are just beyond generous, and
yeah,
thank you to everyone.
So many people,
just crazy. So feel very unworthy of it, but again, thank you to everyone there. So yeah, quite a haul for us at the expo. That's our show. If you like the episode, please leave a rating, review on Apple, Spotify, or whatever podcast app you listen to us on. If you love the show, you want to support us, you want to chat with us every day on the Hockey Cards Gongshow Discord server, please consider a $5 a month donation. Join our $1.99 support level tier on Patreon. Link is in the show description within our Instagram profile, or you can search for Hockey Cards Gongshow on the Patreon website, patreon.com. We're on social media, Troy. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube. And Troy, the Hockey Cards Gongshow podcast is a production of Dollarbox Ventures, LLC. Have an awesome end of your week/weekend, and we will see you all on Monday. And enjoy watching playoff hockey. Nothing better than that.